Hello, everybody, and welcome to our D&D one-shot of Breaker of Chains. It's going to be a bloody, awesome, gory dungeon delve. Can't wait to get started with this. Haven't played D&D like for several months now, so if I'm a little rusty on it, don't hold it to me too much. But we do the rule of cool, so we won't worry about that. The rules will come later. Anyway, I would like to go ahead and have these lovely, lovely people introduce themselves to you. Just, if you would, guys, if you just let them know who you are and who you're playing tonight. We'll start with Mary, since you are in the upper left-hand corner of my screen here. So,
Hi, I'm Mary. I'm playing Arin, a fear tiefling rogue. Um, Traps don't scare me, but idiots who trigger them definitely do.
hand it off to Arlie.
Hey there, I'm Arlie. I'm playing this evening's Beatstick as a human champion. Um, yeah, just wait for my legendarily bad rolls to get not only me but everyone else murdered.
And we'll go down to Kayla.
All right. Hi, I am Kayla, and I'm going to be playing tonight Korak, the Dark Tower, the human necromancer.
Oh. I adore it already. Matthew.
Hi, I'm Matthew. At Proud Nerdery on Twitter. I'm playing Yarrick, the Githyanki Grave Cleric.
Wonderful.
And if the meat stick falls, I might consider eating him. But
Or Kayla will raise it either way.
I do have
we'll be in good
Revivify,
hands
but,
either way. So,
I mean, if somebody dies, that's just an opportunity for the rest of us to survive.
exactly. Don't be selfish in death, guys. That's the important point here. Don't be selfish.
So
in
what?
death.
Like in our contract, we opted in to be dismembered and have our perks thrown at pressure plate traps.
There you go.
Wonderful.
Yep, I signed it in the contract with my patron. This is fine.
And if you've come to the channel tonight from one of these other lovely folks' retweets or channels or whatever, whoever they work with, I am Josh, or Saevrick, which you want to call. I use he, him pronouns, and I am going to be the Dungeon Master, obviously, for this evening's little foray. I like that word. Let's say that more often. Foray. So, let's go ahead and get started, unless there's anything you all want to throw out there before we get in.
Mm.
Wonderful. So, Lemmerchin's Lament. It's a small town. You probably wouldn't even really realize that you passed by it. It's one of those oddity sort of towns. And it's only really known for this small structure just outside of the town, just on the outskirts. This little, well, they call it the Hall of Lament. And they believe it to be some sort of ancient vault. Over the last few years, there's people who've gone missing once in a while, and of course, the first thing anybody says is, hey, it has to do something with that up there, Some spirit came from there, maybe they went adventuring. Usually people brush it aside as, people disappear from time to time or run away from little shit splatter towns such as this to go trying to find a better life somewhere else. But something odd has been happening over the last week. And as much as the townspeople themselves would love to handle it internally, they realize that they're way, way over their heads. And they've reached out to a group far more capable than they could be. Your all's group. And while you may not be heroes, or maybe some of you might fancy yourselves to be one, or maybe not at all, the draw of this oddity of what might lie within might be enough to draw you here. So, you all enter this well, I don't want to call it a city. It's more like a hamlet. It's a few spruce buildings just sort of placed, almost ramshackle, as if they could just, be lifted up and moved somewhere else. Nothing seems permanent. And really the only thing that catches your eye is the structure on the hill, not too far from where you're standing now. It's a squat, square structure. And it has a patina to it, almost like rust. Even from here, it's almost like the building had bled at some point, and it just dried on the sides of it. And also from here, you see that there are little wisps of green that seem to be running all around the building. Not outside of the building, but the building itself, as if they're trailing through the veins of the structure. Small, squat figure approaches. A little cane, these very tattered robes over his frame. And you're a little amused when you see this turtle pace himself slowly up towards your group. Oh, I see you've all come, finally. Yes, this is good. This is good. I'm Donatello. It's wonderful to meet you all. So you've answered the call. Oh, I'm so appreciative of that. Very quiet bunch. You are here for the hall, correct?
Yes, we are.
And you sort of see his face kind of like lighten finally. Oh, they speak, wonderful. So, is there anything I can do for you before you go looking? A place to rest, something to eat, anything?
Turn to look at the rest of the group, and you guys see this giant, broad-shouldered man with about 6'8", with a long, black beard, and a hood, and dressed in these fine robes, but also these pauldrons, wielding what seems to be a long staff, but at the edge it seems to turn from wood to this spinal bone, and on the end is a screaming skull. It says, "Tell me more about this place."
Like in the act of screaming, or it is like a constant little shrill scream?
Well, no, it's just like the mouth is open, so it just seems as though it's trying to scream. No sound comes out.
That would be terrifying to actually have this thing screeching the entire time.
Just like the entire time,
wait.
Can you silence that? There's goblins nearby.
That would be a wonderful cursed item. That was amazing description. Give yourself a point of inspiration for that.
I'm gonna go ahead and use thaumaturgy to make it scream.
So this is just like
Don't make the
he's like
turtle
looking
run
at
away.
this thing like,
No, I'm just kidding.
like I don't like the look of this thing, and then it's just like thaumaturgy brief scream, just like hell no.
It's exactly it. Like his eyes are just sort of drawn closer and closer to this spectacle before him, and suddenly this ear-piercing scream. And while he's a squat figure and looks almost elderly the way he carries himself, he jumps back with amazing dexterity.
Into a show.
Oh, it's just a prop. Yes, it's just a prop. You're scaring old Donatello like that. I'm impressed. I am truly, truly impressed.
I've
Yes.
got more where that came from.
The structure itself. It's been around as long as all my family has. A few hundred years. I don't know of anybody that's been inside in living memory, at least. Well, there was someone, well, it was a couple months ago. Little cloak and dagger type, you know what I'm saying? I don't want to be rude and call them some sort of rogue or something like that, but definitely someone who carried themselves. Not like you fine people here. I can see that you're wonderful, charismatic, just filled to the brim with goodness. But this person themselves, it was dastardly. Dastardly would be the term I use. Anyway, we think that they went up there, but we hadn't heard from them in the last couple months. They heard stories about it being some sort of grand vault, built on the old times when this was a grander city than it is now. Not that it's a bad one now, but, well...
By who?
Oh,
Or what?
that I'm not quite sure about, to be honest with you. It just seems like it's always been there. Maybe it's grown from the ground just like we have.
If you don't mind me interjecting, has anything changed since that dastardly, you don't want to say rogue, but we'll say acquisitioner of things ventured over there?
Yes, within the last week or so, he sort of points this gnarled finger over towards the structure, sort of guiding your eyes over towards it. You see the greenish, whatever that is. I'm not one for the arcane. They began to light up and move, and we started hearing noises from the entrance itself. My best guess, and I'm honestly probably the most intelligent person in this entire village. Let's just be honest with it. I feel that maybe that adventurer did get in there, and his spirit just haunting, trying to get out, thirsty for vengeance.
I'd like to move away from the group and try to look at the green lights and see if I can understand what they are.
Okay. Go ahead and give me an investigation check if you don't mind.
Okay. Investigation check, I'm good at those. 19.
A 19. So while you are quite a ways away from the structure itself, you can see that it appears to be some sort of glyph or arcane writing. You're not quite sure. From here, you can't exactly even see what it says, but the glow itself appears to be coming within the metal itself, as if it's just riding below the surface of it, maybe atoms below the surface of it. Definitely not of a natural nature.
Something's been activated. What I cannot say from here.
Don't have much knowledge of the arcane, but I am sort of a professional tomb raider, bringing gifts to my queen. Is there anything I can make of this structure? Based on, I have history. I don't know if that has any.
You can give me a history check if you like. I'm going to place a high DC on it, though, just for the rarity of this particular structure.
How's that?
Let me see what you rolled. Sorry. 24. That's a pretty damn good roll. So, thinking back on it, you have heard of this particular place, the Hall of Lament, and you know that at some point that there was some sort of ancient elven wizards or sorcerers. You're not quite sure which one it was, but they were definitely involved in the construction of this. Now, the reason for the construction itself eludes you, even with your higher roll. This is really high DC, so I'm giving you some of the information at least. So you do have an idea that how it was constructed, that was definitely probably by some sort of magical force, and who may have constructed it. The reasoning behind the construction still eludes you. But according to what the Tortles did say, it was built on the remains of the old town before this one here was constructed. And it was probably 5 centuries ago, is your best recollection. But the purpose of it?
I'd like to use my historical knowledge feature, which allows me to correctly ascertain the original purpose of a ruin or dungeon and determine its builders. And yeah.
Okay. Is that like some sort of role, or is that just a feature you have?
That is my background feature.
Wonderful.
That's gnarly.
Okay. Wow, that just really throws all the backstory out the window, doesn't it? So with your gleaning of knowledge, and we'll say also with the knowledge of the Tortle, with the knowledge that I'm sorry if I don't remember your character names already.
Eric.
Yarrick and Korak. Sort of putting all these pieces together, you think about it and take a long look at the structure. The wizards themselves being involved and it being sealed off the way it is. Your guess is that it's most likely some sort of prison.
Nice.
I'll relay this information to the group.
So it's not so much probably then that this things lighting up are because of the adventurer trying to get out. It's because he's probably interfered with whatever was imprisoned and it's trying to get out.
Possibly.
That seems quite likely, actually.
So, I mean, I think we should maybe ask if there's been any supplies or rations or stores gone, because if these differences have only been noticed in recent days, possibly this dastardly fellow had actually managed to survive for some time in there, causing havoc and also needing to occasionally resupply by stealing or pilfering things.
Assuming it needs earthly sustenance.
I was talking about the rogue who's possibly helped activate things in there to, you know,
I
muck
thought we were
everything
calling it an acquisition specialist.
up. Purveyor of fine goods. I don't think it really...
If,
We can split hairs with it about him when we actually meet him and or his carcass. I'm not picky.
if my studies are anything to indicate, magical prisons, if this is indeed such a thing, tend to have multiple fail-safes, depending on the danger of those held inside. I would assume that this rogue is now dead inside.
Probably a safe assumption.
But I say we investigate, anyway.
Question
Made.
is, how far did he get in before he met his end? Which one of these fail-safes?
Well, we certainly won't know until we go inside.
Yeah, I mean, since you seem to have a good idea of what this was made for, maybe you can specifically look for what he fiddled with and we can see about fixing that.
I can do that.
I actually have the same background, so you picked the archaeologist background too.
Okay.
So I have the same feature. Been a while for me too, Steve.
Tell me, old man, you said that this vault was built around a once great town of yours, correct?
Oh, that is correct. Yes.
Is there possibly remains of an old graveyard nearby?
Well, we just have the one that we bury our citizens in. I can't think of any others around.
Going recruiting in the graveyard, are we?
Listen, it's either that or the bag of bones I have in my bag. I'm just trying to, think about this.
I have a shovel.
I mean, alternatively, does it matter what species? Because we could always hunt something wild.
You just sort of see the turtle like looking back and forth, like taking a step back.
They're just thinking, like, I wonder if he interpreted that as himself. Well,
I wanted to save this for later, but I might as well. Old man, thank you for your help. I think we can take it from here.
Absolutely. Do be careful up there.
Mhm.
I'm not sure what you're gonna find. If anything, it might be nothing. Who knows? Better safe than
I'm
sorry.
sure if it was nothing, you wouldn't have called us here.
Well,
I mean, if it was nothing, we wouldn't have glowing ominous rocks.
I mean, fair. Anyway, whatever you find there, you're welcome to keep. And good luck.
If we do not return in a day,
I
think it's
appreciate your
best that you find
magnanimity
more.
in sharing the death trap dungeon with us.
If you do not return in a day,
I would suggest finding others to fix your issue.
a larger group, because there'll be more damned souls in there. All right. Well, hopefully it won't come to that, and hopefully I'll be shaking hands at the end of this. Thank you. And still was like still like walking backwards away from the conversation, putting some more distance between himself and the group.
Yeah. Just like nods.
All right, let's find the entrance to this place.
I use minor illusion to make the staff skull just begin to pour out this like green mist while the like eyes shine green at him to make him
I'll make it scream
move
again.
along.
And Tordal moves a lot faster now, away from you. And you hear the slam of a door not too far in the distance as he moves inside. And I assume
Then
that's
we
all.
move closer.
Okay.
So is success measured in how many villagers approach us with torches and pitchforks at the end of this? I'd just like to know.
I don't think any of them are going to be bothering with that. Not with screaming, smoke
They're
spewing
gonna
skulls.
stay in their huts, I think.
All right, so we're heading to the building itself.
I mean, it depends. They might be feeling their oats if all of us are dead minus one.
Okay.
I stop once we get about like 60 feet of the structure, and I unhook one of my bags and I dump what seems to be like 2 bodies worth of bones onto the ground.
Okay.
Yeah. And I bring up my staff and run like the skull along the bones, and I begin to intone, and actual green mist begins to waft over the bones, and one by one the bones begin to stack and rearrange themselves into 2 skeletons who pick up these rusty swords and shields.
Cool. All right. So you guys are 60 feet away from the structure with your 2 skeletons sort of standing in front of you.
So they pick up the rusty things, and I'm just like, I can do this better. And I have a bunch of weapons, so I just like casually pass off a great axe to one, casually pass off a longsword to the other, which are both silvered, by the way.
Oh, okay.
Do this efficiently.
Have to remember that when it comes to them.
Appreciative. Most of my associates tend to balk at such things.
I mean, why should I look a gift carcass in the mouth if Providence provides?
And
Or a
People
gift
look-
villager if they decide to try and run us out.
and he looks at the priest off to the side and And don't worry, these were criminals. I could get into what they did, but I suggest that you do not know. And he gives like
That
this
is
wide
nuts.
grin.
Are they like criminals, like we're saying, like purveyor of fine goods and acquisitioners, or are they criminals?
Oh no, murderers.
Oh, okay. Just figured I'd frankly ask.
I find that people tend to protest less when you take the bodies of those that have committed wrong acts.
The undead only bother me when they get in my way.
Actually, that though. I mean, I am entirely fine with undead bag carriers.
And you see one of like the bone guys just kind of looks at you.
I do wonder how they move without the joints and the muscles, though.
That's my magic.
Yeah, I just wasn't
That's
thinking
something
on it
that's
too
always
hard.
confused me with necromancers.
What
Alright,
has confused you?
Let's go into this place.
Okay,
So
so
good.
you all approach a little closer. You find that it seems to be pretty square in structure, and the closer you get to it, you realize that the entirety of it seems to be made of just iron. And you weren't misled by your initial looks at it. It is just rusted over in large spots of it. And you see these green glyphs sort of running around it. As if, like I said, they're just below the surface of the metal itself. And you're greeted with this almost like skeletal remains of these buildings that are around it. Perhaps the old city that used to exist here, and this thing just seems to be plopped in the middle of it. And directly in front of you, you see two iron doors. Each of them, or it's like a double doors. Each of them 5 feet across, 10 feet tall. And it seems as if the one on the right is just slightly ajar.
Are you able to read the runes from here?
You are more than welcome to give me some sort of arcana check or investigation check.
My passive investigation is 20, but I'll roll Arcana.
And I assume they're not any, like, are they a language of some sort? Since
22.
22. You stare at it and you see that they're in some sort of mix of draconic symbols and other types of like infernal and abyssal, all these ancient
Hey,
languages.
I know those. I know.
Me too.
oh my
But
god.
they're not in like any real order that makes sense.
Gotcha. This is more just like a spell casting of sorts.
It's what would appear to be, yes. If you'd like to give me an arcana check, you're more than welcome
22.
to. Okay, so the more you stare at it and the way that the glyphs are moving and the way they're arranged, you're guessing that there might be some truth to the idea that this might be some sort of prison. They seem to be binding spells almost on the structure itself.
It's definitely made to keep something inside. Rogue, why don't you check out that open door and make sure we don't get stabbed by anything on the way in?
Right? I can check that door out.
Okay.
What would you like me to roll?
Are you going to just look at the door? Are you going to check for traps? What are you going to do?
Initially, look at the door, see if there's anything obvious, and after that, try to sort of poke around with my short sword so I'm not actually touching it.
Okay. Go ahead and give me your perception there.
21.
21. Staring closely at it, it just appears to be a door. Nothing seems out of ordinary. Taking your sword and sort of poking at it, or you don't see anything out of the ordinary. They just literally look like two large stone doors. And you can't really see past the gap because it appears as if there's like at least 6 inches that are exposed to the door itself where it overlaps. And it's even thicker than you might have realized for a door of its size.
The door appears to be safe, just very large.
I guess I'm gonna go and move it if that's an issue.
Go ahead and give me a strength athletics check, please.
I'd like to help with my servants. Oh, never mind.
Okay. Give it an advantage then.
Gotcha. It's already at advantage in roll 20, unfortunately.
Okay. 17?
Yep.
Okay. So, you grip this door with the help of these two skeletal figures, their bones creaking and popping with every little movement they make. The door slowly yawns open. And you can see now that this door appears to be at least 2 feet thick of just solid iron. And you can hear the hinges cracking and almost brittle sounding, as rusted over as they are.
Yeah, I don't actually want to open this thing all the way. I would just like to open it enough that we can get through clearance-wise in case we need to backtrack and shut it.
Absolutely.
We might also just want to put something in the way of the door frame so it can't shut on its own behind us dramatically.
Okay. So you all let me know what you want to do.
Is there like a piece of lumber or something around that we could just heft up, debris or rock?
There's debris definitely from the ruins around you that you could put there.
Yeah, just, nice placeholder rocks in the way of it.
I'm going to grab probably, like, if there is like a 2-foot boulder, like bring it over.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll definitely help that.
Okay.
And when you do, you see like, roll for it. Okay.
No, you don't need to roll for it. You're good.
Oh, gotcha. Well, you see like him remove his gloves, and on his hands are these like intricate, like almost gauntlets, but there's no like it's more of like a gold hand decoration with like these small gems along the joints, and they kind of flash, and you would not expect a wizard to like pick something like this up, but I heft it up and bring it over because I got gauntlets of ogre power.
Wonderful.
It just means we can probably mutually suplex something.
We have Swole Wizard. Amazing.
I got 16 strength on it.
Okay, so you all managed to put this large stone between, I guess, one door and the other at this point. And you are just greeted with the darkness billowing from within outward.
Cleric, if you would, cast light on one of my servants and I'll have them go down first.
Yeah, you know what? That's fair.
I will do that.
Helpfully.
Glowing skull.
Yeah. Actually, no. Light up one of its ribs, because it's really inconvenient to aim at if they're an archer.
Sternum. Glowing sternum.
Okay. And I'll have the one with the long sword go through first.
Okay. So someone's sticking their head, I'm assuming I'm watching this. You see that the first 5 feet or so is just like a flat platform almost.
Mhm.
And then you see what appears to be stairs slowly leading down. And you're sort of amazed because there's a small reflection off the walls themselves from the light. It appears as if the structure is not only iron on the outside, but also on the inside itself.
Is there anything specifically vulnerable to iron? Like, why would you get all the resources to build an entire dungeon out of iron? That's a lot of metal.
Is
I mean, if it's cold wrought iron, that might
I wouldn't know.
be something
is
fiendish, perhaps.
is there anything in my like
I'm gonna follow after the
like
skeleton, by the
repertoire
way.
that would be able to like know what is susceptible to that?
From what you believe, it's not so much that it's something that would be susceptible to the cold iron or the wrought iron. It's just with the degrees of thickness that it is right now, you're guessing if it's like, that the door itself was 2 feet, the walls themselves, they could be 5, 10 feet at most. And if you believe this to be a prison, that's one of the harder materials to keep something in with.
Something did escape. Whoever built this made the walls impervious to most attacks. Interesting. They had many failsafes for this. Now I'll head down.
Okay. Everybody following suit into the platform for now?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we will drop you over here in room 1.
Ooh.
So you should be all on the bottom left-hand side of the map right now. So as you can see ahead of you, there's about 5 feet of steps, and they seem to open into a smaller antechamber almost, and there's a double archway ahead of you, and another room beyond your sight there. You can definitely see the glowing of the skeleton as it's shambling forward slowly. There seems to be another set of doors directly ahead of you, about 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, about 40 feet or so ahead of you. It too has like this gleam to it from the light. And the room itself, and I'm sorry I didn't do this better in Roll20, but the room that block is in, it has like a patchwork pattern on the floor of iron like you see on the walls themselves, but also some sort of green metal as well. You're not quite sure where you're at right now, what exactly it could be. But you're welcome to move forward and check it out if you'd like.
Mm-hmm. I'm actually going to follow pretty close behind the skeletons. The general thing is I'm just always going to let the skeleton pass a threshold before I do. And like, great swords just popped out and over the shoulder at this point as I just follow along.
I'll drop a couple of skeletons in there for you, actually. You should be able to control those, Kayla, if you'd like. As far as I understand, you should be able to at least. Yep. Okay.
As I continue forward, I'm going to be feeling along the walls to see if there are any hidden doors.
Okay.
Sweet. Wait, can I move myself? I cannot.
You should be right here. The one I'm moving now.
Oh, yeah.
I had to pick an icon for you. I didn't get anything back from you, so.
Oh, I didn't really mind.
Okay. So we got Mary and then you. And then the next row we should have Kayla and Yerk. Is that your name? So you got. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Is there anything by the doors down here?
the double doors in front of you here, or the double archways, I should say.
Yeah.
Nothing. You see nothing from there.
Okay. I'm gonna have skeletons go up.
Okay. You can go and give me an investigation check there, Mary, if you'd like. That you're feeling along the walls.
That is an 8 for my investigation.
An 8? Okay.
Great
you
rolls.
Sort of press your hands against this cold iron that hasn't probably been touched in who knows how long at this point. You don't feel anything press or give. Nothing to see any indications of any secret passage or hidden panel. The skeletons move forward just before the archways and stand.
Move down the stairs and ask, so, find anything?
I haven't.
I'm gonna look around at the walls real quick and then just kind of sigh, well, might as well, and I'll send one of them out past the archway.
Okay. The walls, there's nothing on the walls that you can see in this room at least. Peering past for the skeleton as it moves in closer, you can see there might be some sort of mural or something in the adjoining room ahead of you. But the skeleton shambles forward and nothing else.
Okay. We'll move the next one up.
Okay.
Anything happen?
Nothing happens.
All right,
Okay.
I'm gonna have them move about 10 feet up from there.
Okay.
And then
And I'm going to move up behind them.
Okay.
Yeah. Alright. Step into the room.
No glory, no guts spilled on the floor.
So
Yeah.
as you move into the next room, you get a better gaze upon these paintings, these murals, whatever they are. They seem to have been painted a long time ago, flaked paint. But even still, you can see that they seem to be some sort of depictions of wizards and spell castings. And you also see this large creature with chains wrapped all around it. There is a timeline, it seems, as you look across these murals, as these wizards here, then the creature arrives, and then they're battling. And in the last mural you see, it looks as if they are imprisoning it within the earth itself.
Am I able to tell what type of demon this is?
You do have some sort of
No.
history, or...
Do have history.
Okay, you can give me a roll and we can let you know.
Also have history, so.
Okay.
17.
Okay.
20.
Okay, so between the two of you, we'll say, your best guess is this might be some sort of chain devil?
Come down. Joy.
So they built this entire place for a chain devil. Fun.
Is that like front thing on the map, like some sort of altar, or?
What it is a large block of, and as you look closer at it, actually is a large block of silver. It's about 4 feet tall, just almost covering the doors that are behind it. And it's rather long. It's probably close to 10 feet long almost. And this is a solid chunk of silver.
Okay,
Sort of.
so two things here. Two things. A, so that silver is in front of the door, but apparently this guy got in here. So was it placed after him, or was it deposited, or is there something that resets things over time? Or maybe did he replace it and run off screaming into the hills?
There's something squished under the block of silver.
I'm gonna go
Valid.
look at it.
Yeah, I'm also investigating it, and I'm looking for like scrapes along the ground that might seem fresh. If I can maybe perception check that or something, since I'm looking for something very specific.
I don't need either one of you to roll actually, because what you see is, like I spoke, it was a large chunk of metal. You don't see any scrapings aside from where it looks like the block might have cascaded into the room itself. You see where the stone or the metal is actually like indented in front of it, like it may have dropped and sort of bounced back with the force that of the impact itself. You don't see any other scratchings. You don't see any blood. Nothing to indicate that maybe something might be underneath this. I mean, there's a possibility, but moving this stone or this iron or silver block by itself would probably be a heroic task by itself.
I'm gonna look up at the roof. Is there any like opening, any hatch or trapdoor?
There's absolutely a large section missing just above the door.
Is it like just like looks like perfectly fit for this thing, or is it like a chute?
It looks like it's the entrance to it slightly larger than the stone itself, but it looks like it might have slid down into place.
Okay, so maybe this was meant for like to just seal this in if someone went wandering around.
Possibly. Seems a rogue friend has tripped this.
Yep.
Depending on how far they got, I suggest we keep an eye for any more such things. I doubt that they had the same trap once.
I'm gonna move over towards this block and like start to move it, but my entire goal is just to like move, because you said there's a gap between it and the door, not much of one, but a little bit.
Not much of one.
But I figure, is it at least large enough for me to put my like hand in there?
Yeah, you could do that.
Yeah, so I'm gonna put my hand in there and basically just stick my foot against the wall and just leverage to push it, because I don't want to push the entire thing away from the door. I would like to see if I can pendulum it enough that we can get at one door, but still leave it there in case we need to desperately shove it back in place.
Okay.
As I see him doing this, I'm going to take a couple steps back from the silver in case he triggers a trap doing this.
Okay.
Yeah, same. Move back about here.
Okay.
He's just like, he's sitting there like prying at this and then looks back at like the wizard who's also strong and like, I could use help doing it. Maybe.
I look at him and say, that's what those two are for. And he gets the skeletons to help.
Okay.
Guys, I may be strong, but I still got a wizard's HP pool here.
Okay, so with your combined efforts, you do manage to push it enough to where you could fit by it and get into one side of the door. That's really your choice, which side you'd wish to pursue through, but it's still blocking the other one with its
I'm going to
heft.
Open up the right one, because like the left side's the sinister side, right? All makes sense.
Well, it's definitely exposed now. We'll just say that much.
I'll have one of the skeletons go through.
Sorry.
I'll poke around these walls around just to see if there's anything secret there.
Okay, so you're having one of the skeletons go through the door itself. Is that what you said?
Yes.
I just wanted to clarify, that's all.
I'm down with this. Gives
Okay.
me something to follow along.
So it presses the handle and begins to move inside. And I need you to have it make a dexterity saving throw, please.
Oh god. Okay. That's a +2 with her dex. You can do this, buddy. Yo, shit.
Do this, buddy. Nat 20 it.
I hate these gloves. 1 second. Well, 18 plus 2, 20.
Okay. So you watch as it moves to the next room. Let me go ahead and take care of that little block there too, by the way, so you can actually see what's going on in the next area. And you see it just sort of like casually begin walking, and as it passes through, there's like a spark. And you see like the doorway next to it and the ground to its right feet just explodes up as if some sort of force has just imploded from the wall itself.
Lovely.
So the skeleton's gone?
No, you passed your saving throw, so it's pressed on through. It just sort of mindlessly does so without thought or fear.
Oh, it's a good thing that he went through and not you.
I've been patiently waiting.
I'm going to move over to the door, not in it.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to see if there's any like arcane trap. I mean, there is, but there's a way to disable it.
Okay.
Or if it was one shot.
Yeah.
Go ahead and make me a intelligence arcana check, please.
25.
25. So you are sort of looking at this door, and you see these runes that just lightly go around the outside edges of it. And from your best estimates, there's some sort of evocation that's been placed upon this door, a disintegrate evocation of all things. And since you rolled so high, Mary's jumping out the map there. Since you rolled so high, I'll even say that you know that this trap has not extinguished itself yet. It is still quite alive. But there's a chance that you could try to dispel it if you wish.
Ro, can you do anything about this?
Magic is not my area of expertise.
Well,
There's an interesting thought here I have as a thought experiment, so I'm gonna do this instead. While he's doing this, I just casually search for a loose bone or one of the non-sword hands on. Did you send the longsword one or the great axe one forward?
the great axe one went first.
Okay, so since the other skeleton's using the longsword, I just take a couple of its knuckle bones from its pinky and just plink them through the door to see if the trap goes off. It's a good thing. If it's a pressure plate trap, then it means we can just sort of hop through the door. If it just sees something pop by the door and fire at it, we can figure out intervals. And I'm just popping the knuckle bones through.
You toss the bones through, and you see them another flash, and you see dust in its wake as these are just torn asunder.
Well, at least it doesn't need both hands for that longsword.
That was why I did that. I guess the second thing I do is just borrow some more off another finger. And it's and then it's just me rapid fire throwing them to see how fast it can fire again, or if any of them go through.
We will just say none of them go through. Is this
okay? Well, the good news is we have a very good understanding of how this trap works.
Oh, I do have counter spell, but unfortunately I do not have dispel magic prepared.
Oh, and there's one last test I can do. He just borrows one last knuckle. He crouches down and he just rolls it through the door to see if something low gets disintegrated.
Another flash, another spark of dust.
Our height doesn't matter.
We tried.
That's good, because I wasn't going to get down on the ground.
I would if it meant not being turned to dust, but we could leave right now. This block of silver, just carry it out.
Or we could look for another way through.
Or can we try pushing the block of silver across the threshold to see what that does?
No. I value this block of silver.
I mean,
know
it
how
would break
much
it
this is
down. It
worth?
could break it down for us. That makes it easier to carry
I don't
out.
think it breaks it down. From what I'm looking at, it breaks it into dust.
Well, silver dust is still usable as silver.
Do we have like a broom?
Actually, I have a shovel.
I don't. Okay, actually, you're the magic person. Would it turn to silver dust or just dust if it gets hit by this?
Disintegrate, while it's not a spell that I know personally, I know that it tends to evaporate things. Those that are killed by it tend to be difficult to raise from the dead, as there is no body. And so I assume with silver it does much the same.
Yeah, we would be losing the value of this entire block of silver.
Or we could try to find another way through.
Yeah, that's fair.
I
have
think
Dispel
greed
Magic.
will not befit us in this instance.
I have Dispel Magic, but if this is Disintegrate, that's a pretty high level spell, so I'd be worried that that would be a futile use of the spell.
It's always worth a shot. There's no much of a way we can get through it. Well, at least you all have no way to get through unless you want to go.
There might be hidden
That's your luck.
doors. This is a dungeon after all.
Wait a second, I have a question. So we opened one door. Is it firing at us like from past the door, or like is it firing at us like?
I think it's along the inside side of the archway.
Is that
Correct.
accurate?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
As soon as it crosses the threshold, it just begins to fire.
Yeah. Anything that passes through will get zapped.
Nice and sanitary.
Mm.
Not, we won't have to worry about rats or anything in here.
Okay, we have the options of either leaping through it and hoping we don't get blasted. We could try to dispel it. What do you all want to try to do here?
And we cannot look for any mechanism then, or
I could counterspell, but that will not get rid of the enchantment. It will only stop it at once.
Wait, I have a question actually. So disintegrate. Do you have any idea of how it functions? Like, is it just?
Well, I don't want to.
Oh no, I meant that as an icy question.
Yes. Is there anything I know about it besides from the usual?
It makes dust.
Yeah, it's a very powerful spell normally. That does an intense amount of force damage, enough to evaporate flesh and bone and stone.
He shrugs. I told you all I've known.
Wait a second. But it didn't evaporate the doors when they're readjusted back into place, right? What are the doors made of?
They are made of iron.
Shit. And give me a second to look at my inventory.
I mean, I can Misty Step through, no problem.
That too. That's a once a day thing.
Stop it. Fumble.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, so like a hammer would assumptively have like an iron tip, right?
Technically.
Yeah, I mean, I just sort of like put the tip of it in the door, because if it's not triggering on iron, it won't disintegrate it.
It definitely triggers it.
God damn! He's just like, well.
I could Misty Step across and see if there's any way to turn it off, but knowing what is down here, I doubt that there is any sort of switch for such a thing. It's meant to keep
least not on the
something
inside.
in.
We might find one on this side.
I don't know.
Be my guest then.
Yeah, this has been a magical experience so far.
It's like, first a door.
Yep.
God damn.
We're in room 1 so far.
Oh, that I didn't. Yeah.
Okay, what's the plan here?
Well,
That was a misroll.
We'll look around on the inside here to see if there's any switches or anything to turn this off.
Okay, go ahead and make an investigation check.
Yeah. I'll use my passive investigation, so it's 20.
Okay.
I'm going to do investigation to see if I can find another way through,
Okay.
like secret doors.
So the three of you begin to scour the room and look at the doors and the walls, fiddling with the murals themselves. You find no other passages from this room, and around the doors themselves, the only thing that you find is it appears to be some sort of mechanism that probably controlled the block that fell from the ceiling itself, and it has definitely been tripped. And even closer looking at the door, you see it actually has a very complex series of locks on it that it would seem that have already been picked.
Well, it seems the previous acquisitioner managed to get through here.
Or turned into dust.
Yeah, he might be disintegrated.
I mean, okay, so we have no way of actually getting through this. So it's just like Guillaume starts to crouch down,
Yep.
gets into like a running pose, like.
I say let's try putting the silver block through, or I can try dispelling it.
I mean, I'm willing to make a dash for this, but if you think you can dispel it, maybe there's something on the other side of the door. I doubt it, though.
You know what? I'm gonna Misty Step across.
Absolutely, you can do that.
Oof.
Okay.
He just poofs into like this green cloud.
And you step on the other side of the room, or the other side of the door, my bad. You are standing between what appears to be like these two large green-ish type statues. It looks very similar to the floor that of the room prior to you. These statues have like these long bladed fingers themselves, and even from where you're at, you can tell they're not iron, but they're actually silver as well. And the bodies themselves are pretty indistinguishable. Even the faces themselves don't have any features on them. It's almost like flat metal, this green metal. The one which would be to the right of you, you can actually see it looks like there's specks of dried blood on the blank face of it itself. And there's a series of 4 pillars as the room goes around. Very large. They go up 30 feet to the top of the building itself, and this is all iron from what you can see still at this point.
Well, that's concerning. I'm gonna look at the statues and see if there's any like a mechanism, or if they're trying to hide like a switch or anything, or if these are some sort of like guardian things to keep whatever is down here contained.
Okay. You can make an investigation check if you want to check for switches or anything of that sort.
Alright. It's 15.
15. Peering around the statues, the bases, even articulating around the limbs themselves, you do not find any sort of switches. If you'd like to peer deeper into what other nature they might have, you can make me an Arcana check.
Unfortunately, a 12.
12. With your 12, the best you can glean from them is that they are probably some sort of automatons of some. You're not sure if they're even active at this point, if the magic is even still upon them, but they definitely, as you're looking at the limbs look like they could be articulated. They could be moving at some point, or had moved at some point.
Mhm. I'm gonna take my staff and knock one on the leg. Just tap tap, ding ding.
And that's what you hear is that ding of the iron that sort of echoes in the hall that you're in. Just
I will go in front of the door, and I'm gonna look out to the rest of the group and says, I can't find anything, unfortunately, but I didn't expect to. There are 2 automatons here on either side of the door, but they do not seem active at the moment.
okay. What's your next step?
Right.
I'm gonna move out of the way and just say, best of luck.
Guess I'll try to dispel it.
Okay. That's what, level 3, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, tell me, what's it look like when you cast a dispel? Anything special?
Well, a lot of my spell effects have kind of a golden flashes of light associated with it, like a pale gold. Like when I use my mage hand, it doesn't really show a hand. It just things just kind of get surrounded by golden motes of light to move them around. So I just kind of lay my hands out in front of the archway and these golden motes of light spread out.
So these little motes, as you've described, reach forward and sort of begin to encircle the doorway itself and wash over it almost like water. And you see them all solidify all at once and then shatter like glass as these fragments of mystical energy just crash to the ground and scatter across the floor. As far as you're concerned, you're fairly certain that whatever enchantment was on this door has been dispelled.
Okay, I'm gonna make that sprint now.
Okay. Go for it.
I'm gonna cast
Do I need
minor
to
illusion.
roll for that?
I just want you to move your tokens.
Oh,
Go
wait,
ahead.
can I move my token?
Oh, yeah.
It
As
does
he
not let me
sprints
move
through,
yet.
I want to have like my minor illusion do like the same effect as the trap, the trap, but not like the actual thing.
Gotcha. So
You're punking it.
Passes through. Yeah.
You're punking him. So you sort of close your eyes and rush through the door, and there's like that.
I have my thaumaturgy make the same sound as the trap.
So with your combined efforts, you hear and sense like this spray of rock, but you manage to make it on the other side unharmed, sort of like grasping at yourself.
Garrick
like,
just strolls through and shakes his head. Dramatics.
Okay.
No,
And we'll look
I
to
got
the
it.
crew.
Let's see.
Well done. It seems that your god is with you.
Okay. Congratulations, you have solved my disintegrate trap.
And dying queen's blessings are upon us.
And we still have a giant block of silver intact. I'd say this is a win.
Look at the trap and say, whatever is housed here, I don't think has any sort of magical ability besides innate. Because whatever they had down here, if it was able to dispel magic like this, as we have, it would make this sort of trap redundant. So that's good at least, I think. But again, I'm just speculating.
You know, I don't actually. So I'm like glancing around. I see the pillars. I see the large like statues and the blood in their face. I'm like, you feel free to keep describing that. I'm gonna venture forward to between those pillars. That seems like a safe spot.
Okay.
Not here.
Are you sure you want to move forward just in case they activate by you stepping on something?
Well, I wouldn't be the thing immediately beside them, so yes. Just casually sitting like right here, leaning against the pillar, like, yeah, I feel a lot safer right here.
I'm gonna have the two skeletons move up the room, just to be right here.
Okay.
I'm gonna take the advice and go over here.
Okay.
Kind of look around, see what we can find.
So you all spread across the room, probably almost spooking yourselves as you hear the echoes of your footwear tapping this steel ground.
I will be using my boots of elven kind to make no noise as I move.
There you go then.
I'm making plenty of noise for everybody. So.
I'm gonna look at the statues and nod and cast mage armor on myself.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I'm wearing half plate, so I probably am pretty clanky, but you know, it's fine.
Let's see who can see here. I guess our necromancer friend could probably see at the very northern end of the room. You see what appears to be some sort of pedestal, roughly about 4 feet tall, and your best guess would be it's maybe 2 feet in diameter. Otherwise, it seems pretty unassuming, other than it's made from the same green material as you've seen on the floor and the statues themselves.
Move the skeletons forward. Just getting in range of it, like, affect anything?
No, nothing at all.
Don't want to touch it.
It's just like, hey, so what are your bone buddies doing?
There's a pedestal over there. I was seeing if it activated anything by them being near it.
Like a gazebo pedestal, or like...
No, it's meant to hold an object of some sort, I think. But I suggest we do not investigate it until we've come through the room and possibly this hallway to the right, and he points.
So he's saying that, and Guillaume's like venturing forward, like, it's fine, I'm just gonna look at it, I'm not gonna investigate it. It's a fine line between these things, but I assure you, I don't know what I'm doing.
Already up here.
I'm just going to stay like way behind Gil.
Okay. Okay.
I'm just gonna move back over here.
Okay.
Inside side of the door in case I need to make a quick escape.
Just like venturing forward, and then he just like peers over. He like puts his hands on like the shoulders of one of the skeletons, just like peers over at the pedestal to see like if there's like an indent in it or anything.
Okay.
If it just looks like a fancy bird feeder.
So that's you're the one that's doing that?
Oh yeah.
Okay. How close are you getting to it? Just behind the skeleton, you said?
Just behind the skeleton, he's like leaning over.
So you sort of lean over and look down upon this pedestal, and it's pretty unassuming, really. Just that green metal, and there is an indentation in the very center of it. It looks like it's probably about 1 foot in diameter and round as well, and sinks down a few inches.
It's like a ball, basically.
Well, it's got a flat bottom, so you guess it's more like a cylinder or a disc or something like that.
So we're looking for like a cylinder or a disc, a rod. I don't know.
Go.
Is there something like that on one of the big statues? I didn't look too closely at them.
I'm gonna go back and see if I can find anything like that.
You do not. I'm not going to make you roll for it. They have nothing but their limbs and their silver talons and blank faces.
Nothing here, unfortunately. Skeletons, go check that hallway. And they kind of move over.
Hey, do you think like those silver talons there are meant to like attract people's greed and then they just kill you for getting greedy?
No. Again, this is some sort of vault. I think these are here to protect these entryways.
So what you're saying is there's gonna be like a pressure plate.
Possibly, yes.
So what you're also saying is we should let a purveyor of fine things perhaps look around for that.
That would be good, yes.
Oh, Mary.
The
Yeah, after
purveyor of
finishing his
fine
volunteering
things will
gig.
go ahead and look for a pressure plate.
Okay. Where are you looking for this at? Or just generally moving around?
Oh.
Okay, well,
Yeah, I'm just like generally moving around
Okay.
and
so you peek around the corner
and
there.
I've got my short sword out and I'm poking that on the ground in front of me.
Okay. I'll tell you what, you can go ahead and make me a perception check too while you're over here. Then I'll describe what you see around the corner there.
16.
16. Even from where you're standing, can you see where I'm going to ping right now?
Yeah.
From that area there, you hear very, very faintly, it sounds like the sound of metal scratching or screeching. It's very, very faint from where you're at, but you can definitely, you pick it up. It sounds like it's almost like on the other side of that wall itself. And peering around the corner there, you see the mangled remains of a body. A large pool of blood as you see some humanoid with its arm cleaved clean off. And
I'll go up to the body and I will see if it has anything of value.
okay. Let me finish my description and I'll get right to you there.
Okay.
So you see that it's cleaved
Is it
off.
all dead?
It's cleaved off at the elbow, and as you sort of look up, you see the doors just south of you, and you actually see the hand still gripping onto the handle itself, as if it's been ripped off from the handle. You even see like a couple of lock picks in the door still, and the face of it is just smashed in. It's almost indiscernible, like what this person might have looked like before passing. Just flat bone muscle crunched up into like the skull of it. And laying next to the body, you see a green metallic disc. Let me give you the dimensions of it exactly so I don't screw this up.
That right there.
Yeah, it's about a foot in diameter itself and looks to be about 8 inches thick. It's a hefty piece of metal. And you do find, and let me get this passed out to everybody. I'll just make this available to everybody so we're not picking on anybody. So if you look in your journal now where your character is, you should see Dead Adventurer's gear. So it'd be a handout for you.
Ooh.
That's shiny.
So there is a few things that you find in the pack and scattered about this person's corpse.
Looks like we found our rogue friend.
I'm going to go ahead and grab that decanter, and the Star Rose quartzes look really pretty to me, so I'm going to grab those two.
He really didn't make it far, though.
Is the body, does it have any wounds of any sort made by, well, possibly our friends in the other room?
And I'm going to make a medicine check for this one, but the way that its face is smashed in, it looks like it was bludgeoned pretty badly. And thinking back when you were looking at the statue, you saw dried blood on the face of one of them.
Yes, definitely. Yeah, 17 actually. Yeah. But if that's the case, whoever this was might have picked up the cylinder from the pedestal. If I were to guess, they probably tried to make their way into here when the statues activated and they couldn't get through the door in time.
Perhaps we should put the cylinder back.
I mean, perhaps we should try picking the door first before touching the cylinder at all.
True. And I would check just to make sure that there's not another block above the door as last time.
Okay, go ahead and make me an investigation check.
There's just a block of silver above every door. It's like, yeah, no, we made tons of money. We just had to hire a moving crew.
Does my passive
And a couple of us got
investigation
squished.
reveal anything?
What's your passive? I'm sorry.
It is 20.
You're 20?
Mhm.
Okay. You look above the doorway, and indeed you do see what could be considered another chute that one of these blocks could fall from.
Lovely.
I'd let the rest of the group know. I want to investigate that buzzing sound. That's
Okay.
the wall. Is there anything on it or anything? Or is it like over here?
You can make me
Don't
an
know what
investigation
that's here.
check for that as well.
Alright. I have 20, but I'll go ahead and roll because I'm actively trying to find something I don't know about. 15.
15. You search the wall, and I'm going to blip it one more time there. You're looking towards the bottom of it, and you actually see that there might be a removable panel from that wall itself. It looks like it might be maybe 2.5 feet wide, maybe just enough to squeeze through if you wanted to try to pull it out and push through it. That's entirely up to you if you want to try to pull that out or not, though.
I let Mary know. And I pointed out.
Oh, a secret door?
I wouldn't say
Excellent.
door, more of a slot in the wall, but
Perhaps one of your bony compatriots might make the first step.
Question, actually. Are you limited to just bony compatriots, or is it possible to turn our deceased purveyor of fine goods into a third
you
companion?
need a zombie. Of course. You can do such a thing. I'll have the one with the great sword leave the great sword on the ground and move over and open up the panel.
Okay.
Yeah, the great axe, and I'm just gonna collect the great axe and then like hang out near, I guess, the corpse.
Mhm.
And he's just like, yeah, I mean, whatever. I'll just pass this on to our soon-to-be extra gopher.
Okay, so the skeleton moves over and removes the panel.
You know, actually, it occurred to me. This body has like a weapon, right?
Mhm.
I don't know if it's mundane or not, but we could always pass the weapon from this one to the skeleton.
True.
Okay, so
A pier.
Or our well-armed force
so
of.
it draws this panel off and sort of just tosses it to the side. As you look past it, what you see is a very, very narrow, almost looks like a chute or maybe some sort of ventilation shaft. You're not entirely sure the purpose of it exactly, but you can see that it is just rimmed with just razor sharp pieces of metal.
Gotcha.
Hmm.
That doesn't look fun.
I'm going to have the skeleton go forward, and I'm going to intone again and raise up my staff, and green mist will swirl it, and I'm going to cast enlarge/reduce and reduce it down to a small-sized creature
Okay. Very cool.
and have it go through.
I can actually reduce this critter more. I might be able to. Yeah, I can. Okay.
So you guys see about like gnome-sized like skeleton.
Okay. So, why don't you go ahead and have it make a dexterity saving throw as it begins to move through this
I mean,
passage.
I think it'd be smaller than the gnome, wouldn't it?
It's true. Smaller, I think.
It's
All right.
like exactly half.
That is a 16.
Okay.
14 plus 2.
Yep, it will succeed. I guess granted by its smaller size, it seems to be able to step through it a little bit easier without knocking itself apart. and it's going to move at half speed because of all the clutter around it. So you can go ahead and move it, I think, 15 feet? Because 30, I think, is generally the speed of it. So.
One. So that's 10, 20. Is there anything over here? I can't really see with my character.
I guess you can't really see through the skeleton's eyes either, can you?
No, partially.
You definitely see that there's a passage going off to the north. You're not sure what's beyond that, though.
I'm gonna have it come back,
Okay.
and I'm gonna let loose the spell, and it'll grow back to regular size.
Okay.
Well, there's a passage there, but unfortunately, I can't see through my skeleton tiefling. How do you feel about being a little bit smaller than usual?
Took me 20 years to get to this height. I don't particularly want to get lower. But if I must, then do your magic.
And he'll cast reduce again.
Okay. So you are now a smaller tiefling. I'll leave your token the same size. I don't want to make it too hard for you guys to move around stuff. So what are you going to do with your new shape and size?
I will
Okay.
go through that little passage.
Okay, good.
I will have my sword out and tapping it on the ground in front of me for each step.
Sure. This will be considered rough terrain as you move through it, just so you know.
Mhm.
And go ahead and make me a dexterity saving throw while you're going through here. Or dexterity check, I'm sorry. You can make a dexterity check too if you would so desire.
Can I give you acrobatics instead of dexterity?
Sure, go for it.
Yay! 12.
12.
Ouch.
Move as best as you can, but you're unable to avoid some of these sticking pieces. And you're going
First one
to
of the
take
night.
10 points of slashing damage as you push through this.
Ouch.
Owie.
Ow. Sorry, I tried to help. Maybe making you small would be better.
But you can now see that the corridor does indeed move north, and it's another 10 feet worth of this razor before it finally clears up. Which could make me a perception while you're there too, if you don't mind.
Sure. 22.
Okay. So back in the hallway, so if you were like, you entered the chute and you went straight forward against the wall there, you can hear that grinding of that metal is much louder coming from there. So from this section here, I'd say even with the degree of success that you have, you're going to assume there's probably a panel that would let out into another room through this tunnel.
Okay. I will investigate that then.
Okay.
Yay! 22.
Okay. Indeed, there is another panel there, much like the one that you entered through, but you do not find any sort of traps or anything on it itself.
Excellent. I will open up that panel if I can.
Okay. Yes, you can definitely open up that panel. And let me get to the right layer here so I can show you what's going on. All right. So you see the next room here. It looks like you're about 20 feet up from the floor. There's a very, very tiny ledge all around this room. And all you see are these whirling blades. They're almost like, you can't even tell that they're single blades or multi-blades. They're moving so fast. And they're moving in these patterns across the room that I have labeled here for you. So, and to the northern side of the wall, you see another piece of this round steel just sort of embedded into the side of it. This green steel, a foot in diameter, just pressed into it. Much like the one laying next to the body in the previous room, currently.
Okay.
And of course, I guess to the south, you also see a swirling buzzsaw blades just going up and down in erratic patterns.
Okay. This isn't terrifying at all.
The Cuisinart room.
Just a room
Yes.
full of saw blades. Oh god. Okay.
Yeah, it's pretty terrifying.
And I'm still small, yeah? Okay.
Is that a ladder going down?
It is, yes.
Seems to be another passageway over here, I think.
What did you see down there?
I'm going to call back through the little passageway there
Mm-hmm.
and let them know that there is a similar cylinder in this room of a lot of spinny blades, and maybe they should consider putting the cylinder back on its pedestal and see if that either stops the spinny blades or prevents them from coming down on them in that room. Since I'm guessing something like that is what sliced off our friend's arm at the point it did.
If
Just based on where these buzz saws are and where our friend was.
I think, and this is in like icy. It's more than one. I think they're keys. That's why she's dead. He's gonna look to the group and say, these cylinders must be some sort of key to keeping whatever is in here. When she picked it up, those things must have...
Debated and went to murder.
Yeah. I mean, if it was only for that room, then it would make no sense that there's more than two, at least I think anyway.
I mean, unless it was that there was one that was obviously present, or maybe they're different keys for different rooms. You might need to... He could have put the wrong one, or they could have put the wrong one in the pedestal, or maybe it needed both to be put in.
I'm going to shout through the way and say, do they seem to be made of the same material?
I believe so.
They're both green, and so the runes are all green. I think.
Is there different symbols on them or anything?
So, like, everything that we've seen that has been for binding the arcane runes outside, the arcane rune for the trap, and now the green things. I think these are part of the binding.
Oh, and because it's been messed with.
I think when she picked it up, it activated those things out there, and they killed her.
So you're saying once we pick this up, those things are probably going to activate?
Probably.
Have the skeletons do it.
I could possibly do it since I could move faster than them. I think.
Yes, but you're alive. They're dead.
True, but
actually,
we might
this
be
is
able to open up the door over here from the inside. There's this passageway over here. Maybe it loops around.
Entirely possible, but there's a lot of, saws.
Can you check over here and see if there's anything? Maybe.
Make me a dexterity saving throw, please, while you're moving through there.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to think of
26.
Okay. You managed to get through unharmed.
Yay!
Okay. And what you see in the far western corner of the room looks to be like some sort of massive gear as best as you can tell, it's made of iron. It's so old and rusted over. It looks like it would almost fall apart if you touched it.
I'm gonna poke it with my sword.
Okay, so you start to bang on it a little bit and poke at it, and it chips away a little bit. Maybe not quite as fragile as you thought it might be.
But nothing like comes out and tries to kill me.
No, nothing comes out and tries to kill you.
Then I will try to turn the gear.
Okay, gonna make me a strength athletics check, please.
11.
11?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so what you hear is grinding as this thing finally winces itself free of this long sitting. You hear the rust break free, and there's a sound that just echoes through this silent abyss of a dungeon that you're in. But finally you feel it give to your ways. And
as soon as I feel it give, I'm going to move back 10 feet.
Okay.
We'll look to the others and said, that didn't sound good.
So nothing happens that you can see. Go ahead and make me a perception check.
28.
28. Your keen ears in the silence no longer detect the sound of that grinding metal that you heard before.
Okay. I will go back to the entrance to like right before the sharp things start, and I'm going to yell back that I think it might be safe to take the cylinder back to the pedestal. And I will use thaumaturgy so that my voice actually carries through.
Okay. Loud and clear. You
Yeah.
hear.
Leave this to the rest of the group.
All right, I'll pick it up.
Okay. So you reach down and grab this heavy green steeled disc and bring it up. And as soon as its weight begins to get noticeable in your arms, you hear the god-awful sound of creaking and scratching and of this metal grinding coming from, well, to the west.
Question, can you throw it this direction?
I don't think I could throw it very far, but
I mean, we can try.
Also a 24 to get back through to that room.
Okay, yeah, no problem there.
Just play frisbee with the ominous green metal disc.
You're going to toss it? Is that what you're saying?
I mean,
For
I could just
science.
move up. Oh no, I could move up to you and hand it to you.
Yeah, I mean that's fine. We can relay race it, and then I guess since it's moving, what's the max amount of tiles I'd be able to move independently of? I think so 30, so like 6 tiles.
6
like
tiles.
one. I'm allowed to move diagonally. Because moving diagonally, I could get like pretty far.
Okay.
1.
Are you moving your token or? Okay.
No, I'm moving my token.
I thought yours was the one with the green on it. Maybe I'm wrong.
4,
No, you're right.
5,
Okay.
6. Yeah, I'm just like, nah, over here.
Okay, so you're running with this stone in arms.
Oh yeah,
And-
I mean, I could use this. You know what? Is there any reason for me not to sprint?
I mean, no, not really.
I
will say, just as you round this corner here, you actually see from the columns themselves like these slabs of some sort of metal drop from like all four sides of the columns themselves and begin to rotate madly around them.
Great.
And of course, you see far to the south the two statues that were once statues now begin to, as they begin to animate.
I know.
Yeah. And so he just gets over here and he just drops it in there. He's like, well, I don't know what this is going to do.
Okay. Are you wearing anything on you that's made of iron, by the way?
Oh shit.
Silvered weapon, purely, and my armor is adamantite.
Okay. And all your weapons are silvered?
Yep.
Okay. So, as you draw closer to this obelisk, I guess we'll call it, this altar, it almost feels like the stone itself wants to leap from your hands. Do you want to try to hold on to it, or just let it go?
I'm going to let it go. My point was to bring it here, I think.
So this disc just flies from your hands and just like lands right on top of it and begins to spin just very slowly. The columns themselves once again lift back up into neutral positions, and the two automatons to the south slowly creak to a halt.
Are they resetting themselves or not?
It looks like they're back in a neutral position as well.
Okay, so it looks like... I have a hunch that if we pick up the other disc, they might animate again. Small hunch, because this person died, and when they died, they stopped holding it, and these things weren't animated. The moment we touch it, they animate. Right? That works?
I think we should leave the cylinders alone.
I mean, isn't there a second cylinder somewhere? Actually, here's a
That other
question.
room.
The pedestal I'm looking at, does it look like there's space for another cylinder thing here?
No, it does not. This
Okay.
fits
So
almost
the other
perfectly
one
into it.
was around some very spinny blades.
Yeah,
And
you
a
know what?
very
We can
small
leave these
ledge.
alone for now. I guess we just need to figure out this door or whatever else. So Gio's just like, and back against the wall, arms folded. Or are we going through the broken glass tunnel?
Lady
Mhm.
tunnel.
Well, technically, we have done our job. We went to investigate what happened, and we did.
I mean, so I'm gonna pose though, whilst we could stop here, we could open this door and also trigger the trap that drops another block of silver, and then we have 2 blocks of silver we can turn in for money.
Yes, but one of us will probably be squished.
No, not one of us. The animated corpse of this adventurer. Hey, finger guns at the necromancer.
That's on you, Korak.
We can certainly try, but I think that to open the door, we're going to need more nimble hands than a carcass. Unfortunately, my spell doesn't allow them to pick locks.
Yeah, like we'll be asking you to pick the lock, and then we're going to actually have the person that opens the door and dies horribly be the zombie.
There. On the other
Oh.
door.
Can I be like my regular height again, by the way?
Kind of looks down. Unfortunately, this spell is, unfortunately for things that live, is permanent.
Excuse me?
And he just waves his hand and lets the spell go.
Wonderful.
I mean, there was a
Alright.
mechanism at the other door that controlled the shoot trap. So if you could just find that and disable it, or
No.
trigger
You
it,
find that
trigger
or
it
intentionally
safely.
trip it.
Yeah.
You really want the silver, don't you?
Okay, let's do some math here. But I'm bad at math. But big honking block of silver is a lot of money. We could probably buy a house with each of those.
We could probably buy more than one house with each of those.
Yeah.
If this road gets this far and we've gone this far, it's only eventual that somebody else comes down here and in their own sort of greed opens up whatever is down here. We might want to consider destroying this creature or controlling it.
I mean, okay. The moral argument, I guess, is valid. I'm just saying we should also possibly look after our monetary needs along the way.
Yeah, my sponsor doesn't exactly pay me a whole lot of money.
But yeah, no, I can understand the whole, it will look really bad that we went in here, investigated, and then someone frees the demon a few weeks later. Devil, demon, the difference therein. It's which cheek is being clapped, I guess. So says scripture.
So what's the plan, folks?
Say we take a break and talk about it.
Okay, we can do that. So we'll be back in 5-10 minutes, whatever. And I guess these lovely people are going to decide what they're going to do because they don't know either, apparently. Because I'm glad I'm not in your position. Let's just say that much. So we'll be back in a few minutes. Stick around and we'll see who makes it to the end of the stream tonight. All right, we'll be back. right, we are back. Thanks everybody for holding on a little bit. We needed snacks and drinks and stuff, so. But we are back, and I think that we have a plan. I don't know the plan because I was away when they were discussing it, but so if you all would like to let me know what you want to do, we will go forward with that. That's a little bit loud.
I think it was something along the lines of I pick the lock and then we hopefully trigger a trap of silver and I get out of the way and our corpse friend gets squished.
Okay.
I used, while we were talking, I'd like to use Arcane Recovery.
Mm-hmm.
So we can get my 2 spell slots back.
Sure. Okay. Well, sounds like our rogue and mastermind was going to go to the door.
Mm-hmm. Going
So-
to use Animate Dead
Mm-hmm.
on the corpse.
Oh, okay. Bringing up a zombie, I'm assuming.
Mm-hmm.
All right, there is your zombie.
And cool. So
All right, I guess we're
here.
gonna up to date arm all. Oh wait, are we arming it, or are we trying to trigger it under controlled situations for the trap, or are we arming the skeleton or arming
we're
the
try-
zombie and sending it to
I think
die?
we're trying to control the situation because otherwise I get squished by the silver block and I don't want that.
That's fair.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, if like it falls down, you'll both get squished.
Not if I dash away, it's fine.
True. I'm gonna move my zombie back then.
Okay. So,
Have
what's your
3 minutes.
first step there, Mary?
All right. Gonna try those thieves' tools.
Mm-hmm.
Looks like a 19
Okay, and is that to pick the lock or?
to pick the lock. Yeah.
Okay. You succeed in picking the lock.
All right, and then I am going to acrobatics my way out of there
Okay. So you make quite the getaway.
with the 23.
Okay, perfect. So you toss and tumble back away from the door. And
All
start
right,
I'm gonna
Cora,
have
time for our.
I'm gonna have the zombie try to open up the door.
Okay. Yeah, I was gonna say I was gonna move you away there, Mary, but you beat me to it.
Oh wait, I have Mage Hand. I'll just do that.
That's such a better idea. We even
Yeah.
get to keep a zombie.
Yeah.
I do too.
I'm just
I
gonna
can-
Mage Hand the door to see if it'll open.
Okay. So
2
you
doors.
crank
Okay.
the lever on it,
Forgot I had that spell.
and there is a resounding thud of a block dropping in front of it that just echoes and shakes the walls as this massive silver block drops in front of the doors.
That could have been me.
I actually got 29 HP because I have Undead Thralls.
And I guess you did open the door, so I guess I could reveal the area, couldn't I? There you go.
Oh.
And what you see beyond those doors is pretty undescript room, aside for the fact that the entire floor is made of that green metal.
What is this metal? Do we have any idea?
Which give me a history check.
I will also know because I'm interested. Okay.
I think that's a natty 20 if I'm not mistaken.
Cool.
So,
Jesus Christ,
Oh,
guys!
they
two
both
nat
did it.
20s. Two nat 20s.
We know everything about
Right.
this.
So, looking upon it, you see these little streaks in the metal themselves. It's very, if you weren't looking for it, you probably wouldn't really understand it or notice it. And the steel itself is actually extra planar. It's not in the prime material. It's actually Batorian steel. Basically hell steel.
Wait, so the people that built this place were probably infernal?
Or use something infernal to keep something infernal in. Makes sense.
Is there anything weird about Bader steel?
Batorian steel.
Yeah.
It's very highly prized in the outer planes for its rigidity and its toughness. And it comes from one of the layers of hell, so it's definitely very exotic, especially being here on the prime material plane, let alone this much of it.
Might be
So-
more valuable than the silver.
It's exorbitantly more valuable than the silver itself.
Which is also maybe why someone tried to steal those plates, is because they're each made of this stuff. The little discs. So yeah, I mean, if we kill the thing at the heart of this place, we can run off with the discs.
I mean, that's assuming that the automatons
Don't murder
realize
us.
that the thing is dead.
Oh, yeah, no,
Don't
that's
try to
fair.
kill us.
Or we just get really good at running past them. We can try. We can try the. So there was a thing I was thinking where we, since he shrunk you, we instead shrink the silver brick and we just throw it above the automaton and let it grow big again, and it can deal with being crushed.
The things were big enough to where I think it would damage it, but I don't think it would crush it.
I mean, it might pin it down.
Yes, but then we
Maybe.
lose the silver.
Nah, we can do it again. I mean, it's a thing, so we can go leave, rest for a bit, do
Yes,
it again.
But then when we take the silver off of them, if we've taken that disc, then they're going to keep being awake and trying to kill us.
I mean, actually, we could let go of the discs by the time we've take the silver off them,
Mhm.
because they only attack
Alternatively-
while someone's holding the disc, right?
Alternatively, we could see if it's activated and it's touched by when it's physically touched, or when it's maybe got like a rope around it. and
Oh, actually,
dragged.
you know, it's a very good way to test that. Why don't we just have one of the skeletons lifted up briefly? Because they're like non-living tissue. They would be an object the same like a rope.
That's a point.
We can experiment with that later, though, when, you know, they're not doing an important job of keeping something sealed.
I'm gonna have the zombie go through the door while they're talking.
Okay.
Oh, did we trigger the block, though?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna just move that to be like the same equidistance thing, so we can sneak by it, but we can also shove it back in place.
There you go.
I don't need to make the roll, do I?
No.
Oh, thank God.
No, I figure with the combined efforts of all you, it's not going to be an issue.
Yeah.
You got you and Swole Necro. I mean, you're probably good. Between the two of you.
Me, Swole Necro, and now we have 3 fresh bodies to help
Okay.
move things around.
Well,
Yay for necromancers making meal shields so nobody dies.
Hey, Korax, how many of those can you make?
Well, I technically could have made 2 with that spell, but there was only 1 corpse.
I mean, like, in total, like, how many can you control before they eat our brains?
Well, I can control them for at least like 24 hours each, and then I have to re-up the spell before they go.
Okay, and how many in total could you control at once? Like,
Technically, if I use my spell slots, I have like 8.
okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
no, that's...
Yeah.
To get out of control, I can dust them.
yeah.
Yeah, that's fair. So, yeah.
Like by the time I have a long rest, if I cast the spell again, it affects them all, so they're all under control.
So, yeah, Saevrick, as it currently
Mhm.
stands, I guess we have one equipped with the rapier from the purveyor of fine goods.
Uh-huh.
So it's back in the owner's hand. the zombie.
Yeah.
A
One
zombie
has
with a rapier.
one has the great axe, and the other one has. Actually, we should maybe give the zombie a great axe because, like, those skeletons were a bit dexterous. So the
Yeah.
rapier might be better in their hand.
Yeah, I'll have them swap.
And then
Great
A
axe
zombie
for-
with a finesse weapon just doesn't.
I was like, it seems like
right.
a bad idea, actually.
I'll give the zombie the longsword and the
No.
longsword and the skeleton a rapier.
Yeah, and then the other skeleton's using a great axe, and that still leaves me my great sword.
Is the rapier silvered?
No, it's just the
Ah.
thing off the body of the. It's just a normal rapier. So if we have them
By the
go
way,
first and they trigger
why
a
do you
trap.
have so much silvered
Silvered.
stuff? Like, are you a
So
werewolf? Like, Hunter?
sometimes you lose weapons in things' throats, and it gets lodged in there. So you want something else on hand.
A lot of silver, though.
Like, have you not had the issue where you jam it right in there, and it gets sort of squelchily stuck, and you're stuck wrenching it out over 15 seconds, really hard in the thick of things.
It is a pain in the butt. But he's a wizard. He might not understand these things.
But he had.
Let's just check the room before we
Yeah.
waste any more time.
I see everyone pressed to the northern wall. So anybody want to step away from it, or
I mean, I guess he's just gonna march over
Look
here
around.
okay?
and then stop in front of the threshold and be like, I guess I throw a gold coin across and see if it disintegrates.
Okay. So you toss this gold coin, and you see it just sort of ping, ping across the floor, and it comes to the foot of this larger dais, or this podium in the center of the next room, which too is made of this large steel, or this green steel. But it's a much larger podium than the one that you saw in the previous room.
Moving that.
Well, I mean, it didn't set anything off, so
No,
just
nothing set
gonna
off.
casually step back over and pick it up.
Okay. And as you get a closer look at this, you see that it's very similar to the one in the northern room that you'd looked at earlier more closely with peeking over the skeleton and all scared to shit. But you see this one actually has 3 indentations on the top of it, all about 1 foot in diameter.
We need all of
Oh,
This must be the locking mechanism for what's keeping this here.
so question, are they filled or not?
No, they're not filled at all.
Was the one, the plate that was in the room before, was it in an indentation or not?
Yeah. Yeah, it was in Indian.
It
Pedestal.
fit perfectly into the dais that you put it in before.
No, I'm talking about the one in the buzzsaw room.
Oh, it's set into the wall. Yeah, there's a section very similar to it it's set into the wall in.
And it was spinning too, the other one is still spinning when I moved away, and it just kept
Right.
spinning, right?
It's not like a rapid spinning. It's just a very, very gradual.
So, I mean,
slow
I
turn.
think we can guess that they're in the right place if they're spinning. So if the one in the buzzsaw room's also spinning, it's in the right place.
Oh,
We just need to remove them to put them on here.
Mary, do you have anything metal on you?
I have my rapier, which is silvered, and 2 regular daggers, and a moon-touched rapier, and a short sword, which is silvered.
Okay. Go ahead and make me a dexterity acrobatics check, and we'll kind of talk our way through this.
19.
Okay, 19. So as you get closer to this dais, you can actually feel the 2 daggers at your sides begin to shake violently, and you can see that they're starting to pull themselves free of the holsters and are swinging towards the middle of the room. I'm going to make you add that dexterity check to decide whether you want to try to grab them or let go of them. So,
I'll let go of them and see what happens.
okay, so you see them fly from from the holders at your sides or wherever you have them stored at. I shouldn't assume that, but they sort of like stick to the sides of this podium in the center of the room.
Interesting.
I'd like to think the zombie like gets close, and then the rapier goes ting, and it's like.
It can make a strength saving throw if it'd like to hold on to it.
Let me see what stats are for the zombie. Not
Zombie
great,
doesn't have
but
that.
it's a zombie. Oh wow, okay. 19 plus 1, 20.
20.
Strong zombie.
You see it just sort of like lurch like this, and it just keeps a hold of it.
Might want to have it back up.
Yeah, I'm gonna have it back up a little bit.
Yeah. Okay. So we have 3 things. There's 2 locked doors to the south and north. There's a room to our east.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm right, we might find one dais in here, or like a thing, and it might be that we need to grab the plates from the other rooms and bring them here. Maybe.
Probably.
Which would involve one of us going down the one door, the little pipe of broken glass.
Well, if there's doors right here, and he'll point them out, perhaps they lead into that room. Maybe we just open up that and boom.
Yeah, I think those go into the blade spinny room.
I mean, is it locked or not?
I did not unlock it from the blade spinning room, so as far as I know, it's still locked.
Always pick the lock and try again.
Check for a silver block trap.
Yeah.
If you guys
there one
want,
we
we can test a theory while you're doing this. While you're picking the lock, I will jog. Well, I'm not going to jog. I am going to dash over towards that disc, grab the disc, run back here as quickly as I can, and hurl it into this center platform. Since, quite frankly, as long as none of us are touching it, it's safe.
If you would like to do that, then that is perfectly fine.
I'm a good runner, and quite frankly, we do have that block down, which is at least good for something to duck behind. Yep. Yeah, so Guillaume's just like, I'm gonna do this. And
I do not know you well enough to say nice things at your funeral.
He's like, that's fair.
But fortunately, we have a grave cleric to oversee your rites.
Yeah, just tell me however long it would take me to get to the plate,
Right.
and then we can deal with that from their save while they do their thing.
It'll probably take you a couple rounds. It's not that far. If you're dashing towards it, it should take a couple rounds to get there.
Yeah, I'm gonna just dash.
And really, all I would need you to do is make me a strength athletics check to try to pull this free.
Yeah, just basically do their things when I need to make the strength athletic check, then I'll pull it free and start actually bothering about movement.
Right.
So yeah, have fun with that door, guys.
I'm gonna check the room for any like arcane inscriptions, any magical things in here, because if we start this, there might be like a new trap or something.
Okay. You went to inspect the pedestal
The
itself?
room,
Or
yeah, the dad in the room, see
Okay.
if there's any like arcane traps or anything. If we set this thing off.
Sure. What you find, there's nothing on the walls itself. But the pedestal, though, as you're looking over it, and I'm not going to make an arcane check on this because it's pretty obvious. You have that same feeling like on the outside of the prison itself there is some sort of binding magic that's inscribed into this. And let me actually have a name for you. I have to write down. It's like one of those here rests such and such. His name is Cuaxl, Cuaxhl. Whatever demon is or fiend or whatever you all have decided is here. It seems that this might be the cell that it's bound to.
Gotcha. Interesting. And he'll pull out his like spell book,
Mm-hmm.
and it's not what you would expect. Like it's not a book. It's more like this stone, like black, like pyramid.
Mm-hmm.
And he brings it up, and it begins to like glow with these like golden green, like arcane runes, and he begins to whisper the name into it so he can write it down.
Okay.
And then it goes back in his hand, and he stows it away.
Okay. Very cool. What are the rest of you doing in this room?
I am picking the lock. I rolled an 11 for that, so I'm gonna guess that did not work well.
You go to pick the lock on the door and realize that it's not locked at all.
Oh. I will step about 15. I will step back behind the dais
Mm-hmm.
and I will cast Thaumaturgy to blow open an unlocked door.
Okay. Sounds good to me. So you see some familiar sight on the other side of this.
Mm-hmm. But nothing falls down, nothing tries to... Okay.
No, not at all. You just see some stationary blades that greet you.
Gonna peek in this room and see if there's anything interesting in here.
So, as you step into that room, it seems to be sort of a reflection of the room on the western end, just slightly smaller. Same steel green floors, nothing to script whatsoever. And a pair of double iron doors to the north.
Yeah. Let's see what happens when Arlie comes back with the disc.
Yeah. Arlie, really what I need you to do is just make me a strength athletics check. Because you're pretty fast. I'm not too concerned about you outrunning these things per se.
Oh yeah, athletics, let's go. God damn it.
What'd you roll?
11.
11? Okay. So you struggle, but eventually you do pull it free. You can definitely feel the force of the magnetism of this podium, trying its best to hold on to the seal. And of course, as soon as you pull it up, the arms drop from the sides of these pillars and begin to spin madly, and you see the two automatons begin to reach and crawl forward. But you're more than fast enough to dash your way.
Yep. And just the entire goal is to dash in as straight a line as possible.
Back to this other room here.
Yep.
Okay.
And then slide right through here.
Okay. You cross the threshold back into the green steeled floor of the Valtorian room, and you actually begin to hear the whirring sounds die off.
Neat. So like he does like the grinding of like the statues and
Right. It all falls silent.
Okay. And he just keeps going, and then he frisbees it to the middle thing because he remembered how it started to try to like tear.
Right.
So he just
right. So this disc flies to the center of the room and injects itself into one of these slots, and it begins to spin a little bit more rapidly, and actually the entire podium head itself begins to spin counter it. There's that grinding sound of that steel against steel, that dull whine as the two pieces of metal move against one another.
Are the blades? Did the blades start back up?
No, they did not.
All right.
Should I grab the other one? Like,
The
if
other
we're
one's
doing
up
that?
here, right?
Right.
I
to the north.
mean,
The other one we know of is up here, right?
Correct.
that-
Yeah.
Yeah.
That Mary saw.
yeah. I guess I'm gonna go with her. I'm like, yeah, if you want to search for anything. He's like, opens the door, just like, are those buzzsaws on the wall like actually visible?
Oh yeah.
He's like, yeah, if you want to look, pressure plate or anything, like, what are these like head level? Wait, like, if I crawled, would they?
They actually spin in an erratic pattern, as if they're offset on their axis. So they spin like down and up at the same time as it spins. Currently, they're not moving.
They were moving when I was in this room, but I turned a gear and I think that stopped them.
Well, if I die, I will definitely ask that you at least say something nice about me at my funeral if it's in this room. Right?
I will say that you went bravely.
Yeah, that works. You know what? Bravely is good. Bravely is good. Just strides forward like.
Yeah. Korik calls out and says, "If you do die, you'll at least have company." And the zombie and the two bone guys just turn to stare at him.
Yeah, I mean, that's good company and like reunited with my gear, I guess. It just continues marching forward.
Okay. Okay. We made it to the edge of the room. As I told her before, that you see like there's just a small space along the edge of the room itself. Actually, you can see right across there where there's another one of these green discs, and you see where the room actually inclines a little bit as it moves from west to east. So the door on the eastern side is probably about 10 feet higher than where you're standing at now. So you're guessing that the whole room inclines up that way. There's all these 36. There's 8 of these blades in the room themselves, which have
Is this
stopped.
like a pit?
Almost like a pit. Like if you'd fell down into it, you'd be just falling into a meat grinder.
Awesome.
Hmm.
And it's about 15 or about 20 feet down. It's quite the drop.
Cutting edge and trap technology.
Could you actually do me a quick favor? Just one, and bring up like a zombie and 2 of the skeletons here.
Right.
And what he says after this is he just pulls out the hempen rope that's part of the Dungeoneer pack, ties it to himself, and then hucks it over to the zombie. He's like, yeah, if I fall, I just love if they grabbed it.
Yeah,
I'll follow up and I'll actually take the rope.
yeah, and the three of them will like move around the rogue and just kind of be there to grab her in case something happens.
Okay.
Perfect. Yeah, I guess I hug a wall.
Actually, hold on. Let me see. I could just mage hand it, but it would take a strength check actually.
Yeah, it would take a strength check from what I know.
Yeah.
Do we also want to check that door on the far side or no?
We can check it after we get this one, I think.
Okay. So yeah, I guess I just slowly. I'm in no hurry. Those buzzsaws aren't on. So yeah.
Actually,
Do I have to make checks if I'm not moving in any hurry?
Yes, because it's a very, very, very narrow surface you're walking across here.
Ah, fuck. What check is it?
I will let you make an athletics check to hold on to the sides.
Oh, thank you.
Could make a flying friend. Oh.
24.
That will be a failure.
Wow.
Yes. So you begin to
Hey-ya.
drop. So I guess I
I'm
need.
going to take that hempen rope, and it is going to be taut at 50 feet. And I am going to move to the base of those buzz saws,
Okay.
so that if you turning this on, taking this cylinder activates them, I don't get destroyed.
Okay, so you're dropping. So I guess I need whoever's holding on to the rope if they're going to try to keep Arlie from
No,
dropping to the floor. Oh, I understand. I understand exactly what you're doing.
Yeah.
Whoever's holding on to it, I guess, which is just you now, since you backed up away from all the zombie buddies. I need you to make me a strength athletics check.
Me?
Yes. If you're going to try to keep Arlie from falling, then yes, I definitely need it.
That's an 11.
That will fail.
We definitely can pray that they maybe grab on.
One can hope.
You can have them make one dexterity check for them.
Would I possibly get advantage because there's 3 of them?
I will allow advantage, sure.
Okay. Great. So I will have the one zombie do a dex check.
Okay.
It's gonna be a 16.
That will fail.
Oh god. Okay. Yeah, just slides.
Arlie,
Good.
roll me a percentile for me, please.
Oh boy.
Because I want to see where these blades stopped at before you fell. And see if you just landed on one or not.
80.
My friend, you're not good luck today. So, you fall, and you just see like this blade rushing up towards you as you're falling towards it. It is stationary, so it's not going to do as much damage, but you're falling onto a sharp blade, so it's definitely going to do something to you. Let me get the
I don't think I
damage.
could have made that check that well, because that was close to a max roll.
Yeah, it's a high DC for this one. There it is. So we'll roll 3. You are going to take 13 points of damage, of slashing damage, as you collapse against this blade.
Well, it's a good just cursing, really. And then he's just like, well, me having this rope around me is not really much help. So he just like undoes it, gives it a little tug. It's like, could you get that back? And he's just gonna walk over to the other ladder.
Mm-hmm.
While I'm down here.
All right, if you're going to ditch the rope, I'm going to move out of the room.
Okay.
Yeah. And then it's up the ladder.
Uh-huh.
And I'm going to move from the ladder, and instead of trying to balance against it, what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab the ledge and just move along the ledge a la... Because I think
I would like to make a suggestion. Quick.
Hmm?
Sorry. I can make a flying friend who can just float over there.
I mean,
Yeah,
that would
if you want.
probably have been the better thing. I mean,
Sorry, I forgot it was a thing I had.
I'm indifferent. If you want to, you want to. I mean, if you think it can move the thing,
Mm-hmm. Gotcha. So Korak is gonna pull out what looks to be like a old skull, but is gilded with like these gems on it, and he's gonna whisper, "I need your help, sister."
also save. I'm opening this door behind me if it's not locked, just so in case the buzzsaws turn on, I can at least
Okay.
step out of the room.
Okay. We'll resolve the Korax thing first, and then we'll get right to you.
And
everybody
out
got
of
that
the
out of
skull peers this like this woman. She's tiefling, and wearing what seems to be these long robes as well, but they seem torn and apart. And I'm gonna make spirit, ghostly.
Okay. I will drop that on there for you.
Okay.
So wherever you want to place that at. I assume they're probably in the general area that I dropped it at.
Yeah.
But...
Yeah, it's going to go there.
Okay.
And it's going to try to remove the thing from the wall.
Okay. Make me a strength check, athletics check.
So I did that at 4th level.
Okay.
So it's going to get some extra things. I'll fix it in a bit.
It's okay.
It's going to be an 18
Okay.
check.
That will do it. So, Arlie, you throw the door open as this thing begins to grab this gem from the side. Arlie, let me go ahead and open that up for you so you can see what's actually going on over there. What you see as soon as that door rips open, Arlie, is you see a large boulder just plop into existence to your east. And you see it begin to roll out of sight south.
Wow.
Dun, 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 dun.
That's phenomenal. So it just
Dun, dun,
plops
dun, dun.
into existence.
It just plops into existence.
How's the spirit thing dealing with the disc?
It's holding onto the disc and nothing else is happening in the room itself. And as you're like looking back at the spirit itself, you hear a plop, like a popping sound, as the boulder once again reappears to your east side and then begins rolling back down, now faster. Then
Yeah,
6 seconds later, it pops up again and rolls even faster down the incline.
He just very casually steps into the room, closes the door, and just like watches to see if it stops doing that or if it keeps going.
You just keep watching it go, and it comes faster and faster. It takes less and less time each time to reappear.
Just breaking physics. He's like, okay, this is a little boring now. Steps out, closes the door, then steps back in to see if it's like slowed down again.
It's when you step out of the room itself, you don't see or hear the rolling any longer. But the moment that you break that plane into that room, you can see it appear again. Just plops out of this portal from seemingly nowhere, from the fabric of existence. It just appears and begins to instantly begin to roll.
Does it roll at the same speed as last time or from the starting speed?
From the starting speed.
Interesting. Okay, he's like, so if I want to figure that noise out. So he's just like closes it and he's like, I think I can do this. But first, I'm looking at the floating lady and see how she's doing.
Yeah, she's already left and has brought the disc into the room, but puts it down. But I think that she would go back under his control and go over to him and grab the rope around his waist and just look at him. Oh, okay.
Oh yeah, you did, didn't you?
I ditched it, gave it a tug so the rogue would take it with her, and now he's like, okay, so if I remember the other room and this, okay, here's what I'm doing. So he walks forward because he can see a wall, and he just peeks the corner to see like how far down it goes, because like he can just functionally work by, like, he waits for the moment the boulder pops by and then he peeks around the corner.
Okay, you can go pop your token over to the one more step. You can take a look down there. What you see is a portal on the other end of the hallway, just before the doors.
Now
You
we're
see
thinking with portals.
And it begins to roll down towards it, and you can see it engulf it, and you instinctively step back and see it reappear right in front of you and just begin to roll faster and faster and faster.
How big is it?
It's almost the entire breadth of that hallway.
Okay. Man, it would be hilarious just to throw like a monster in the middle of that hallway. Yeah, so where was the portal exactly? Like, is it against a wall or is it?
Yeah, it's on the northern wall there.
So, like, if I tried to run there, I would probably get caught in the portal and then get hit by the rock.
You could probably make it to the door, but you don't know if it's locked or if it's not locked or if it's trapped. So you could definitely make it there before it comes back at you. Maybe if you step out and come back in and reset it, you could.
That was my thought, was resetting it. Because my thought is, but I don't want to set off something. So yeah, I'm just gonna take the stairwell. It's just like whatever.
Okay, absolutely.
Boop ba-doop 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 ba-doop.
We could grab the silver bar thing and put it
Hey guys,
in front.
I found a giant rock trap. Down a pointlessly long hallway though. And he just like walks over to here, and it's like, I'm pretty sure it's on the other side of this door. That makes about sense. Though we should actually check like the ceiling. He just like looks up, is like, is there a slot on the top of the ceiling for either of these doors?
Make me a investigation check. Or perception, I'm sorry.
Oh, perception, yes. Let's go. Please, actually. 19.
Let me see if that passes or not. Because I don't rightly remember. Yes, you do see that through that little divide between the two rooms, that above you, you see, spanning the entire length of the 10 feet, there looks to be a slight discoloration in the metal above you that looks like silver. So it looks like maybe a large silver block is hanging over your head currently.
But that was the only one. It was directly
In here?
above where I was. Yeah, he just steps back. He's like, by the way, there's another silver block here. And then he like goes over here and checks, since he now knows what he's looking for, to see if there's an identical one.
Yeah, given the fact that you've already looked and you know what to look for, absolutely. Yes. there's
Okay,
a
also
number
one
there.
here. So if you want
About
to check
here.
if there's a triggering device, there's probably a way to get these two silver things down.
I'm guessing when we activate this, those will drop.
So,
You
like,
said that you were
traps in here.
checking the south as well.
Yeah.
Given the description that he's been giving you, you look above the door, but you don't see anything on this particular set of doors that would give any indication that there might be a falling block trap, we'll call it.
Alright. I am going to try to open the southern door, or try to unlock it.
Okay. Go ahead and
So do we have the
Will a
second
21
disc in place
get
here?
it?
I'm
Will
sorry.
a 21 unlock it?
21 will, yes.
Right.
Very
I will
simple.
unlock it.
Yurick,
I will
what were you saying? I'm sorry.
Did we put the second green disc in place here, or
Not
not,
to my
yet?
knowledge, we didn't.
Yeah, I
Frisbee it.
put it on the ground, but not,
Okay, so when it gets put on the ground, I just pick it up and frisbee it to the center.
Okay. So, once again, it takes another slot on this pedestal, and it begins to spin as well. And actually, the entire contraption begins to move a little bit faster and faster. I can't remember names. I'm so sorry. Aaron, right?
Aaron.
Aaron, I'm sorry. Aaron, you pop open the door and take a look, and what you see is a massive room that's just, it seems like it's like filled with water. But it doesn't look very deep. Maybe 6 inches, maybe to a foot. You're not 100% sure where you're standing at, how deep it is itself. And across the way, you see a slightly raised section of the floor and a large green statue pressed against the south wall. With, it seems to be holding like a large basin. And sitting before it, you see another one of these pedestals and a green stone set in front of it.
Nothing came down from the ceiling when
No, nothing at all.
Cool. Okay. I'm going to toss one of my gold coins through the door, see if it disintegrates. Or...
Okay. So you toss the coin, and let me get some percentile dice here.
And I'll be standing about 5 feet back from the door in front of the dais.
So there's
Percentile dice.
So
The
that-
gold coin turns into a chicken.
so
Go.
there's a dinging as it skips across the steel, and you hear it plop into the water, and that's it.
Okay. Then I will go through the door.
Okay. You are fine.
You
Right.
want me to send my ghost friend to try to grab this one?
Probably a good idea. I will dip my short sword into the water,
Okay.
or trying to step into it.
You dip it into the water, and when you pull it back, it seems to be like it's not like corroded or anything. It looks like it may have just like sticking into like muddy water. It's a little bit darker in color, but there's no damage to it or anything.
Okay.
I mean, do we still have the flying friend?
Yep.
Yeah. I mean,
She is there for an hour, as long as I concentrate though. That's the one thing.
yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
flying friend seems to be the best option. I'm just gonna stare at the water for any shadows or movement.
Okay. Gonna make me a
I
perception
mean, if
check.
flying friend's gonna get it, I'm gonna go back into the room with the dais.
Okay. Perception check there, Arlie.
Yeah, if you want to search for the mechanism for those silver blocks just so we can preemptively set them.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
I got a 6 on perception. It's just like, this water's really muddy.
Yeah, it's very, very
I-
thick and very murky.
28 on perception to look around for those mechanisms.
You do not find any mechanisms.
Okay.
So you send the servant across this waterway, and it grips at the stone. Go ahead and make me a strength check.
Okay, +1, come on.
Can't be worse
15?
than my perception check.
I'm sorry, what was that?
15?
So you see it grip at it and yank at it, but it does not move.
Question.
One last fail save.
I have a thought, but how does long jumping working again?
So I was just looking up. If you have a running start, it's your feet in number of feet equal to your strength score.
Which, since I have remarkable athlete, I get to increase that by number of feet equal to my strength score. So I guess I would get 10 feet. So I could. How
No,
high
you're-
up?
I think it's your strength. It's your strength score. So, like, if
Wait,
you're
my strength
18
score or my modifier?
not
It's
your
your
modifier,
score.
your score. So you'd be like 36 feet
What? That's
with a
that's-
running start, or 18 with a standing.
That seems ridiculous. That seems off because I could move faster than I could.
I'm pretty sure he's right.
Yeah.
Holy crap!
So if you want to leap over there,
Yeah, you need at least a 10-foot running start to do that. But
Yeah.
standing, you could do your strength in feet. So you could do 18 feet from a standing jump.
Yeah.
Yeah, but if I do,
If you
I
didn't
believe-
have that feature, it would only be 9. But
yeah, when I make a running long jump, the distance you cover increases by number of feet equal to your strength modifier. So, like,
Yeah.
if I do a running, I get me a good
just
chunk
run.
of.
how about this? Instead of like slowing everything down to look it up, we'll say that you can make it if you would like to do it.
Oh fuck yeah! It's just like does like the Michael Jordan like jump through the air?
Okay.
That's ridiculous.
Okay. Go ahead and place your token over there. Okay.
It's like
so
36 would mean he would like just barely hit like the edge, wouldn't it?
yeah, you can make it.
use my Githyanki jump feature.
Yeah, he just like grabs
times.
onto the floating spirit to like pull the rest of the way over.
So
Well, she's incorporeal, so sure she'll do that.
Tries to, fails.
so you leap across this waterway. and stand before this statue. And as you get a better look at it, it looks to be of like an elven descent, with these robes, and it's holding a basin in front of it. And as you look at the basin itself, it looks like it's rimmed in rust or dried blood. You're not sure. But in the middle of this plate that it's holding, and this basin that it's holding, you see a silver dagger resting in it.
Give it some blood.
I think it wants blood. So I mean, first off, I'm gonna just like tug on the plate and see if it'll move.
You can give me a strength athletics if you'd like.
I'm gonna. I don't think it's gonna work, but I'm gonna.
You never know.
Try.
20.
Nope, doesn't move.
Yeah, okay. So he's just like, this is a lot harder to move than the other ones. So he goes over, picks up the dagger, and just pokes himself in the hand with it over the basin.
Just poking yourself?
Yeah.
Just like this, or...
Fine, he acts like an emo teenager over the basin.
I just want to know for sure, that's all.
Yeah.
So how much damage would you like to inflict on yourself? You have between 1 and D4 plus your strength modifier, so...
I mean, I'm gonna try just inflicting 9, so like max.
Okay. So you inflict this wound upon yourself across your palm, and you see the blood drain into the basin itself, and it begins to swirl like this crimson smoke within it.
Give that little plate a tug again.
Doesn't
also
budge.
Keeping the dagger.
The sphere, or the plate, the green plate does not move at all.
God damn it. All right. Gonna open another 10 damage worth. It's just like stab.
Okay. Again, the crimson flows and begins to turn into smoke and swirl within the basin itself. But the orb still does not release itself.
Is it thickening, or is it...
Yeah, it's thickening, definitely.
I mean, instead of wasting your blood, why don't we just use the blood of the zombie?
The blood is
Probably
coagulated. Yeah, it's not gonna work like that, unfortunately.
I'm gonna do it another time. Another 10 damage down.
Okay. So you press the blade once more into your flesh and let it drain into the basin, and the smoke whispers away and sinks down into the basin from sight, and you hear a clicking sound.
Okay. First, before I touch this thing, I'm chugging back 2 greater healing potions I had in my inventory with my money. Okay. Big pile of nope, I'm good. So greater healing potions are 44 plus 4?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that'd be 8d4 plus 8 for 2 of them. Oh, that like undid most of the damage, but not all of it. God damn.
Well, it's only 1 damage you took, so.
Yeah. It's not bad, honestly, as far as a trade-off. And now he goes to pick up the plate.
Which frees itself.
And he sacks the silver dagger across the top of it. He's like, whatever, this could be possibly useful.
Okay.
And he's going to press back against the wall, and we're going to go and do a running jump again.
Okay.
We got me 10 feet of clearance.
You got just enough, so...
Michael Jordan's his way back across.
Okay.
Wait, before you put it in...
Oh, he just hands over the silver dagger to Korak. He's like, you might want to give this to the zombie.
Do you want a level 1 heal? Because you took some damage earlier, too.
Oh, you know, I would appreciate that. This has not been a great day. I mean, I didn't have a silver block land. Yes, please.
Korak is just going to go over here, since we don't have the third one yet. It doesn't want to be anywhere near where this thing might pop up.
Or the entrances. You don't want to be anywhere near the entrances.
Oh, I like right here.
No, because if those things drop, like you might want to be in the room because otherwise you're going to get sealed off from the rest of us.
I mean, Correct is a cure.
That's fair. But yeah, I'm gonna give
But he can
this.
still control these guys. So if things do get spooky, he can come back in with Misty Steps.
So yeah, I'm moving. I guess the great axe to the zombie. The long sword is on one skeleton, and the skeleton that's using a rapier is now being given the silver dagger.
Okay.
Okay.
So long
And
as
I
you
guess
guys
also
keep track
the
of that
rapier.
stuff.
So we
Okay.
have like a skeleton using a rapier and a silver dagger. It has both. I don't know if it can do that, but at least
don't
if it
think
gets
it can.
disarmed, literally, it has
Yeah.
two weapons.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like, okay, are
Wasn't
we
the
all?
wasn't the one with the sword the one you yanked a bunch of knuckles off of though?
That's true. You did, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's two of them though. I just give one of them an extra thing, the one that has more knuckles.
You got 5 more hit points there, Arlie.
Aw, thank you. Okay, also, Korax, favor. So I'm going to be moving over closer to you. If
Okay.
this thing pops up and the blocks pop down, could you shrink one of them?
Yes, I think I
Yeah,
can. Yeah.
because then we'll do
But then
teamwork
we'll
to make the
use, like,
dream
this
work.
guy. So if this person goes down, then I can do the enlarge. But if I do the enlarge, it'll get rid of one of our guys.
I'm just saying that. Oh, actually, you know what? We don't want to let it have an exit, so we should do it near this one, because that one leads out.
Okay.
So we can minimize this one, and it's like gesturing over for Corex to like come near this entrance,
Okay.
and so we'll shrink this one down and throw it at it,
Gotcha.
and then if it gets pinned down, we just sit there and beat on it.
Cool.
Anyways, are we all ready? He's like getting into like frisbee throwing stance.
Cool.
I'll take that as affirmation. If it's not, I'm sorry.
I'm gonna
Frisbees again.
cast something before.
Okay.
2nd level false life. Give myself some temporary hit points.
Okay.
I'm going to use my Pearl of Power to regain a 4th level slot
Okay.
in case I need to get the heck out of here.
All right. Anything you want to do before everything falls apart here?
13.
Nope.
I got mage armor on, so I'm good to go.
Okay. Harley, you tossing it?
Do I what?
Are you tossing it now?
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. All right, let's stop this music. So you toss this third and final disc to the center of the room, and of course it snaps into place, just like the others do. Now the turning becomes a whirl, and you begin to see the very pedestal itself begin to pull from the floor, and it's almost like pulling this plug of silver up from the depths of this prison itself. You begin to hear the rattle of chains as they dangle from the bottom of this silver block. And embedded at the very ends of them, these long hooks into leathery flesh, you see a creature just enveloped in chains. And you hear a screech of joy as it has now been freed from its prison. And let me grab this.
I believe the term we're all looking for is roll initiative, huh?
It will be in 1 second here, yes. So you see these chains that are attached to it suddenly break free from this plug and lay at its sides, and you see them begin to twist and turn, almost serpentine, as if under some sort of mystical control from this creature itself. And it turns and looks around and begins to hiss this cursed acidic tone in the air. And with that, yes, we will roll some initiative.
I will go ahead and make the undead servants go after me and stuff like that, just so we could keep track of that.
Okay.
So it'll be right on my initiative, but they'll go after me.
Okay.
Okay.
Yup.
23.
Go ahead and roll them and keep them to yourselves, and I will ask for a turn order here, so it makes it a little bit easier since we have so many characters here at one time.
It's that summoner life.
What's that summoner life, yo? Huh? That's what I was looking for.
Oh god, he's going last!
Okay. Everybody got their initiatives?
Yep.
Okay,
Mhm.
25 to 20.
Yep, that's me. 25.
25.
Actually, hold on. No. 23.
23.
Sorry.
Yeah, you're all good. Okay, so we have 20 to 15.
17.
19.
19. 17. Okay, so we have 15 to 10.
13.
13. Okay. In what order are we putting these undead out?
I guess they'll go on my turn, so the or do you want different ones for them? Because I think they go after me.
Yeah, let's just go ahead and place them in the initial order, but below you, anywhere
Okay,
you
yeah.
want,
Okay,
just to make it simpler.
gotcha.
We'll let them all act on the same turn.
Yeah.
So they can go. You're on 23. Arlie's on 19. Mary's on 17. Matt is on 13. The Chain Devil's on 10. So.
Alright, so we'll have them go on 22, I guess.
Okay. So right after you.
Mhm.
Okay. And with that, at the top of the turn order, it's your turn.
Alright, so I'm gonna turn to the demon and say, "Well, aren't you glad to be out? You must be electrified." He's gonna go over here. He's gonna use some of his movement, and he's going to cast a lightning bolt at 3rd level at it. That's to make
Okay.
a DC 16 Dex saving throw.
DC 16 Dex saving throw.
The part I like about this is he's made of metal, or has metal in him at least.
Okay. Did I roll that or not? Oh yeah.
No,
it
it did not.
Yeah,
Oh,
it did.
yeah.
It's right before that. So it seems like it failed.
Alright, I will roll 8d6 then, lightning damage. As you watch, as he kind of brings up his staff and he raises it into the air, there's this rumble of thunder, and you watch the skull on the staff lights up green, and this green lightning just shrieks into him. 29 damage.
29 damage. Nice.
Mm-hmm. He's going to use the rest of his movement to go back here.
Okay.
That is going to be
Your turn.
his turn, and now it is my minion's turn. Two skeletons are going to move up to him. This is for the one with the great sword. I guess one attack on this, unfortunately. So I'm going to say, so it's +4, and because I'm a necromancer, they get a +3 to their hit rolls
Okay.
and to their damage. So this is going to be a +7. So with the great sword, that is going to be a 24 to hit for the first one.
That will hit.
The one with the rapier is going to be, it's going to be a 7 to hit.
7 will definitely not hit.
All right. And I'll let Arleon go ahead and roll damage for those because I don't know what greatsword and rapiers are.
Great axe. A great axe is 1d12.
And so 1d12 plus their strength, which is 0 plus, so it's a +3 on that.
Okay.
And then the rapier.
It's the rapier that hit or the longsword?
No, it's the great axe that hit.
Yeah, the great axe was 1d12. Is that the only thing I have to roll, or was there something else that hit?
The zombie's going to try to hit with a longsword. Natural. Actually, hold on. I'll just roll for this. Fuck it, because that doesn't feel fair. Oh, 1 second.
Okay.
Roll 1d20. It's 13 plus 3, so that's 16 to hit
Yep, that will hit.
with the longsword. So go ahead and roll the longsword damage plus 3.
Was it one-handing it or two-handing it? Because it's versatile.
Two-handing it, I think. And then the other.
And you said
is
plus 3?
Mm-hmm. So
Bonk.
5 damage.
5
And
damage.
then the undead servant is going to attack with its deathly touch. It's going to spin around him. It's going to make 2 attacks, multi-attack, because I cast it at level 4, and it gets a roll attacks. So it's going to be a +6 to hit. So the first one is a 21 to hit.
That will
The
hit.
second attack is a. I keep rolling with my dice here. Sorry. I just like I rolled a crit, but I don't want it to feel like, So a 3. So the second one's a 3.
No problem.
And so the first one hits, and they're going to take 1d8 plus 6 damage. Necrotic. Alright, and it's 11 necrotic, and the creature must make a wisdom saving throw against the against 16 or be frightened of the undead until the target's next turn.
Oh, okay.
Oh, it does say it. So it does.
16 to save.
Yeah, 16 to save.
Okay. Does he take any damage from that at all?
Yes, he took 11 necrotic.
Okay.
Alright, then that is my turn. I will move these guys out of the way just so you can move your character when it happens.
Okay, so is that the end of your undead turn?
Yep, that's all I got.
All right, on turn 20, there's going to be a layer action.
Ooh.
So, to the chains here on the front side here, we'll call it the north side, northeast and northwest side, suddenly spring to life and lash out. One is going to be attacking the skeleton just ahead of it, so right above it.
Okay.
There's going to be melee attack plus 8. Be a 13 to hit.
That hits. Just hits.
And it's going to do 11 points of slashing damage.
Okay.
And it is currently grappled.
Alright.
And then to the upper right, it's going to attack the zombie.
Okay.
It's a 25 to hit, and that is going to take 8 points of slashing and be grappled.
Okay.
So I'm going to put a couple tokens on here just to show that it's grappled.
Mhm.
It makes it a little easier. Okay, so that's the end of that layer action. Arlie, it's your turn.
Just kill being like, oh, well, I guess it's go time. Just kicks off the wall. Let's clap those cheeks. Action surge, which I think when I use that, it gives me like an extra attack, right?
Yeah, but you use it once you attack.
Yes, but the thing was, so I take an additional action on top of my regular action, correct? Which means since as a fighter at level 7, I attack twice whenever I use an action, I'm able to attack 4 times this turn, right?
Correct.
Yeah, I'm gonna
Yeah.
just try and dice this dude.
Okay.
Cuisinart mode.
And one. Oh, actually, question.
Yes.
Is he considered flanked at all?
I mean,
Because if not, I could move here. I would have had the space to move here.
Because it would have been like
Yeah, it would have been like
here and here.
Yeah, he's flanked.
Okay, yeah. I mean,
I'll
it
just
doesn't
remove
matter
this
for that one, but I just wanted to make sure I have
Right.
advantage. 2, 3.
That's 4 hits.
Yep. Were any of those a 19 on the roll? I need to check.
What's your?
No.
No, I don't think they are.
No, the 26
No.
is an 18. So
Yeah.
Did they all hit though?
Oh yeah, they all
Yeah.
hit.
Oh, good.
10.
10 slashing, 13
23,
slashing, 10
33.
slashing, 14 slashing.
47
So
points of
47 damage. Jesus.
damage. Okay.
It's just time to clap those cheeks. Flunk.
So this thing sort of like turns and like lashes these chains out at these two undead. And there's like bone, flesh snapping, scattering, and you just walk up behind, and just start slashing into its back. And even though like the chains are in the way, you still just keep meeting flesh over and over again. And this dark, viscous blood, brackish and black, just begins to spray across this green floor. Anything else for your turn?
No, that's about it.
I think that's good.
Okay. Well, that'll bring us to our lovely rogue.
Alright. I'm going to go in behind it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to do a sneak attack with my rapier.
Mm-hmm.
So that'll add an extra 46 on top of the 1d8 plus 5 if I hit.
Right.
22 to hit.
So that will hit.
Whoops.
You click the
Yeah.
rapier plus 1. You know, she'd roll the damage for you there.
Alright. It looks like 22 damage.
I think it
Plus.
there it goes. 15 sneak. If you click just the rapier plus 1 on there, it should roll the damage for that. That second one was just another attack roll.
Oh, okay.
Actually, click.
I mean,
the
I'm
word-
clicking on the damage and it's pulling up both, so I'm not sure.
Just you just actually click the word rapier there on the side, in the chat window. So I rolled it for you. So that's 27 altogether then. 12 with your rapier, 15 for your sneak attack, right?
Yes.
Yep, 46.
Yes.
So that's 27 points of damage.
And then I'm going to do a bonus attack, a bonus action
Mhm.
to swing my short sword at it.
Oh, okay.
Dual wielding.
With
25.
a 25, I believe.
It will hit, yes.
Okay.
Save some for me.
I just see this thing. It's just like, finally, after 10,000 years, I'm free.
I'll click it. 9.
Just like I can go back to sleep, guys.
Okay, so you jab it as it's looking at Arlie
Oh.
in anger.
No,
Sorry.
I didn't mean to do that.
Oh, yeah. So you jab it again as Arlie is just ripping into its flesh and catch it in
So-
its soft spot.
10 more damage on top of that, because 1d6 plus 5.
Gotcha. Okay. Anything else for the rest of your turn?
That would be it.
Okay. All right. On initiative count 15, this stuff kind of happens. So you see as the 2 blocks on either side of the room drop, and there's a loud clanging that's almost deafening in the smallness of this room. And to the north, you hear the whirring of blades as they begin to spring back to life. And that is all for that. So that will bring us to our Githyanki Grave Cleric.
Nice. I am going to cast Spirit. How far away am I from this guy? Like 15? Am I 15 feet or less?
You're less than 15 feet, yeah.
Okay. So he'll be within the radius. I'm going to cast Spirit Guardians at 4th level.
Okay.
So at the start of his turn, he'll have to make a Wisdom saving throw or take either 4d8 radiant damage or half if he succeeds on his save.
Okay.
And what it looks like is this golden light starts spinning around Yerrick, and they take the form of crowned skulls and swirling great swords of golden light. And of course I designate my party members and the zombies and skeletons as not to be affected by this.
Okay. Awesome sounding. Anything else your turn? Moving or anything?
No, that's it.
Okay. Cool. Okay, so on turn 10, the other two chains are going to act. One is going to attack Arlie, because that just seems appropriate. 22 to hit.
That will hit.
Okay. You're going to take 12 points of slashing damage, and you are grappled. So you ain't moving there from that spot.
Fine by me.
The other chain is going to attack. Actually, it's going to attack the skeleton to the one that the other chain hit in the northwest corner there. 22 to hit that skeleton.
Yep.
It is going to take 13 points of slashing damage.
Alright, this one's going to be 7, but they seem to have the same health, so we'll just... That one's
Okay.
at 9, this one's at 7.
Okay. I must have linked them together. That's my bad. Okay, so that's into that layer action. Now it'll actually bring us to the Chain Devil, finally. Alright, so for its first action...
And it triggers my spell, too.
Oh yeah, it's got to make a wisdom saving throw, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so 19 to save. Does it begin?
That saves.
Damage.
Okay, so it takes half of
So it's-
48.
Yeah, so 15, so half, so 7.
7. Okay.
Oh, and there's...
Is that everything for that? Okay. Chain Devil, grapple one creature at a time. Yes, it can only grapple one at a time, correct. That's why I didn't re-grapple the skeleton again. It can definitely attack it, though. So at the beginning of its turn, it is going to use its Unnerving Mask ability. I need everybody to make me a Wisdom saving throw.
Oh gosh, okay.
Oh, everyone needs to make us. Oh boy.
Yes, it's got a layer action. That's why these are special.
Well, my undead don't need to because they're undead,
It's true.
I think. If it's a fear effect, I don't know if it is. Probably.
That's 1 fail.
Nope. I
2
fail.
3 fail. 4 fail. I believe everybody failed that.
No,
Right.
I got 24.
You have
I have
advantage?
advantage.
Okay.
I have advantage because of my armor. I have
Oh.
mind... What's it called? Mind Carapace armor.
Okay. So, our cleric passed, and the rest of you, I'm kind
Oh
of
no, I
curious.
think. No, I don't. Never mind.
Well, there's a brilliant thing it's done. I
This-
can't willingly move
Right.
closer to the thing that makes me afraid, but it restrained me, so I'm beside it.
So the question is, the three of you that failed, I'm kind of curious what you think that your character's most dire fear would be. And it is going to manifest itself in that form for you.
My character would see a lich appear out of the ground, covered in gold and jewels and flowing robes, missing one eye and one hand.
Oh, jeez.
And the specter would extend its hand out to Korak and said, "It's time for our pumpkin to finish." And he would just go pale and say, "No, not yet, you promised."
I guess technically I just did that whole thing wrong, didn't I?
No.
I think it's supposed to be at the start of your turns, but it's all right. I made a boo-boo, that's all.
It's fine.
Why is my character sheet?
Oh, if we're starting at the next round.
Yeah, it'd be the start of your turn.
Kayla goes next anyways.
Yeah, this is true. Okay. Oh, there it goes. So that doesn't cost any actions, I don't think. I think it's just an ability as far as I understand.
Yeah, no, it just seems like a passive effect.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it is going
Can't get
to...
any closer to it.
It is going to take some of these chains that are on its body and begin to attack. I guess, Arlie, you kind of messed it up pretty good, didn't you?
I think I've done I might have done the most. I can't tell if the lightning bolt did more. Let me check.
And you are grappled. Does that mean that you
Yep.
would have
It would have
advantage?
to
Yep.
hit you, yeah.
Right. Well, it can't crit on you at least, right?
No, it can't.
Okay, so it's going to attack number 1 is a 24 to hit.
Yeah, that hits.
And if the other attack number goes through, that's a 26 to hit.
Also hits.
So you're going to take 25 points of slashing damage as this thing like whips these chains, and it's not so much it cuts you, it just begins to tear the flesh from your body.
Spicy.
All right, and that will be the end of its turn. So we'll bring us back to the top of the round for our wizard friend.
All right, I'm gonna cast.
You
Just-
are frightened, so
Yep, freaking out. So my attacks have disadvantage. However, I have prepared for this.
I
At
am
second
prepared.
level, I will cast magic missile.
Wonderful.
Second level. So that's roll 1d4.
Old magic missile.
good
4d4
Mhm.
plus 4, I suppose. 44 plus 4. 11 damage of force into the guy.
Nice. So these little arcane blasts just blowing it back and forth.
Alright. It's the end of my turn, unfortunately.
Well, it's your undead's turn now, so.
Yep. The 2 skeletons are going to attack.
Okay.
I mean, the bright side is all the undead have advantage.
It's true. 1d20. Actually, I'm going to copy this. 1d20 plus 7 for the 2 skeletons. First one is 20 to hit. Second one is also a 20 to hit.
Okay.
So those will both hit.
You say-
Arleon, if you could roll me the damage for those.
1d12 plus 3 and 1d10 plus 3?
Yeah.
Yeah.
11 damage for the first one, and then the zombie's going to try to attack.
24. Okay.
D20 plus 6 with advantage. It's going to be a 21 to hit with that.
Yes, that will hit.
Alright, if you can roll for the rapier, and I will do the multi-attack.
Is it
for
using the
my-
rapier or the silver dagger?
Silver dagger, so go ahead and roll that.
What's his damage modifier?
It's a 1d4 plus 3.
Okay.
Oak.
Alright, and the multi-attack is going to be d20 plus 6. So that's going to be, so for the first attack, it's going to be a 24 to hit.
That hits.
Second attack is going to be a 20 to hit.
That hits. You guys
So
are
he
wearing
will
this thing
take-
down.
Take 2d8 plus 12. because of the 2 attacks.
I'm so glad I armed all those things with
It's,
silver weapons.
It's a 25, and it must make a Wisdom DC check 16.
Okay, 16. Okay, let's see. I believe that is a success because it gains advantage on saving throws against other magic effects, so it is going to succeed.
Damn, so it is not frightened.
It is not frightened.
It's okay, that's the end of my turn.
Okay. And that's going to bring us back
I'll
to the
move these out of the way.
chains. So,
Sure.
we're going to rip and tear at...
Oh, right, I forgot. Don't the chains do something at the start of the turn?
That's what he's dealing with right now.
Oh, right. Sorry.
So the target is restrained. So it's going to take 2d6 damage. So I think your zombie and your skeleton are both restrained, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
So your skeleton's going to take 6.
Okay.
Oops. I know how to roll. Your zombie is going to take 5, and Arlie, you're held as well, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yeah, so you roll for it.
And 6 points of damage on you.
Okay.
Okay.
But that means it's my turn, correct?
There's one left to act, actually, because one of them didn't grapple anybody.
Oh.
So it's going to reach out and strike. Hell, he's still pretty pissed at you, Arlie. 22 to hit.
Yeah, that hits.
Good deal. And it's going to be 10 points of slashing damage.
What are you down
When I
to?
see
I'm
it,
down to 9.
when I see it attack, I'm going to use my reaction to do Sentinel, so I can make a melee attack against it.
Okay.
I thought that's only if it moves, though.
Nope, that is when it makes a melee attack. That's when it makes an attack against another character who does not have the Sentinel feat.
Okay. Interesting.
Okay, this will be your reaction. Go ahead and make the attack. 16
16.
will just hit.
Cool. And rolling a rapier 1d8 plus 5. So 6 damage.
6 damage. Alright, it's looking pretty bruised and bladdered here, so I think that is Arlie's turn.
Can I use second wind the very moment my turn starts?
It's a bonus action, right?
Yes.
Yeah, you can use it whenever in your round.
Okay, because, like, I know the chains do damage at the start of my turn, which means it has a chance of just dropping me before it can act, because I'm at 9 health.
You already did your chain, so don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So you're 17.
Thank God. I'm up to 26. Wait, no, I'm not. That was a... 1 second. Nah, okay, I'm up to 21. That's still better than I was before.
It is, yeah.
Yeah, no. So, like, what he's seeing it as is this horrible mass of, like, shifting, melting flesh that's burning and looks like him.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't run from it, so I think right now the proper tactic is to stab it to
Okay.
death.
Okay.
Although, question, to try and break out of a grapple, does that use your action or not?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna just stab it to death and hope it dies before I do at this point, because it has 2 chains. It has 4 chains. I have one of me,
Right.
and I don't have disadvantage. I just roll normally right now.
Correct. The 18 will hit. The 11 will
18
not.
will hit. So, let's see. Also, I have great weapon fighting, so I'm re-rolling that
Okay.
because I can re-roll both the dice in it because they're a 1 and a 2. Okay, so it does 12 damage.
12 damage. Okay.
Oh, I forgot to make my wisdom save at the end of a round.
Oh.
14.
Yeah. I mean, we just have to make the wisdom save at the start of our next round, right?
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
yeah, you're frightened until the end of your next turn, so.
Oh, gotcha. Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, 14 will succeed, so.
Okay.
Anything else your turn, Arlie? You can't move, but
I
you
can't
your bonus
move.
action.
I used my
That's
bonus
it.
action on
Yeah.
that, so unless I can drink a potion as a move action,
No, you have no movement.
no, then yeah, that's it.
All right.
Unless you can use movement actions to try and break grapple.
Unfortunately, not.
Yeah,
Mary.
then
It's your
I'm
turn.
going to. Am I still like just behind it? Hasn't turned around to look at me.
Currently, it's attacking Arlie because he really messed it up. So.
Okay, I'm gonna try to sneak attack it again.
Okay.
If it's not paying attention to me. 16.
16 will hit.
Right. 1d8 plus 5. So that is 8 damage plus 9 from the sneak is 17. And then bonus action to use my short sword.
Mm-hmm.
26 to hit.
Yeah, that'll hit, and that's going to be. How do you want to do this?
Yeah.
So I snuck in with the rapier and then I drove the short sword just straight down into its back. As I
Lovely.
swung back and
Okay. So you drive this blade into the leathery, that's a word? Leathery flesh of this creature from another world, from another existence. And you hear it slump, gurgles, blood fresh just escapes its mouth, its lungs pierced and just popping in its mouth. And Arlie, you sort of have to like pull yourself back a little bit as this thing just slumps forward, almost collapsing on top of you. And it lays
yeah,
dead
since
at
he's
your
still a
feet.
little panicked, he like just shoves.
Wonderful. But it is currently dead, and the chains lay dormant now.
I mean, I take it stops looking horrifying to all of us.
Yes, absolutely. It is with the choir invisible now, so.
Okay, I spend like I guess a round kicking it in its now dead nuts.
Okay.
Just feeling
would-
vindicated.
I would ask that you don't do that. It might be worth something research-wise.
I mean, you could always animate it so it can carry itself out of here.
Okay, so here's the question. Do you all want to call it a night? Or do you want to play the Are We Going to Escape This Dungeon game?
I know
Well-
how we're escaping this dungeon. Hey, Korax,
Hmm?
can you walk over to that block of silver?
This one, you mean?
Yes, can you reduce its size?
I mean, I could. But I could also leave you here.
I mean, to be fair, you realize I'm strong enough to move those, right?
it just takes you a while.
Yeah. I mean, ditching us would uniformly be a bad idea, I think.
Spectres start to
Casually
move
saying this,
around
and
them.
I'm collecting my weapons from the skeletons and the zombies
Yeah.
now.
No, they don't let them go.
Does the chain devil have anything on it that's, of any interest?
Not
I'm gonna
really.
take one of the
Just-
chains.
Yeah, it's these abyssal chains that it's wrapped in. That's about it.
I do want to use Identify on the dagger that Arleon grabbed.
Okay. I will put that in your all's journals for you.
Korak just says, Oh, you're fucked. Actually, I guess my zombie's fucked. Can zombies attune to things?
I wouldn't say technically they couldn't, but
So
why is it screwed?
Because
Early?
once you use this dagger to wound a creature other than yourself, you immediately tune to it and lose attunement to the most recent item you attune to. While attuned to this dagger, the wielder becomes hunted by a pit fiend who wants to reclaim the item. So not necessarily to kill the wielder.
So, because I gave it to the zombie, I'm fine.
I think so, because you only hurt yourself on that one. So.
Yep.
That's fantastic.
Can a zombie attune to a magic?
I don't think so.
But here's an interesting thing then. You can sell that as a dagger meant to go and summon a pit fiend. You just tell them they need to sacrifice a chicken and it will summon for it.
I could do that. Kind of stows it in his pack.
Yes, in exchange for that handy in exchange for that handy bit of information. And then he goes and yanks back his fucking weapons from the zombies. I will strength check it if I need to.
The zombies let them go, and Korak gives a grin and casts Reduce on the stone slab.
Oh yeah, so as soon as he reduces it, Guillaume runs forward, grabs the thing. He's like, okay, I'm going to run this as close to the entrance as possible so we can actually grab these for future, because this is a lot of cash.
Okay.
Yeah, so, you know.
Are the indents still in the thing? Are the little circles?
Oh, the spinning discs? Yeah, they're probably worth mad cash.
They're like pressed into the ceiling now as this whole dais has just risen from the ground and pressed itself up to the ceiling. So they're actually like pinned now above you.
I mean, we
Yeah,
could
we can
probably
go back
break
for
some
it.
of the floor and just bring that out for cash.
I mean, you could try reducing the dais since it's a separate piece. And then
True.
we just... Yeah, I mean, it's just going to be a whole lot of busy work of us reducing things and moving it as far as we can in a minute. And you know, this is Guillaume saying it as he's running by. And then,
what do you see?
what do I see? Those are the things right there, aren't they?
Yes, they are.
They're active, aren't they?
So you see these two automatons who are just sort of standing there, waiting. Look like they were poised to strike at the first thing that they see coming through that door.
It's just like, Korax, as soon as I throw this, I need you to...
Fortunately for
you
you,
can always go the other way.
Fortunately for you,
there's no other way.
Fortunately for you, they're not moving, and now that the fiend is now perished, they have nothing to protect anybody from.
Well, it's like I stick my arm out of the door and see if they start to move.
I'm
They
going
do
to cast
not.
a minor illusion to make them seem like they're starting to creak when you do that.
I'll use thaumaturgy to make it
You
them.
two together are the worst.
Yeah, so he basically throws the block at
Eric
its
just
face.
shakes his head again.
So it's like it starts to creep, and he just throws the block at its face. And when it does nothing, he like catches it again as it's on the rebound, and then throws it at its face again.
Okay.
This has been fun. I will see you all outside. And he's going to dimension door 500 feet out of the tomb.
Okay.
Yeah, the moment he dimension doors, it's Guillaume throws it as far as he can, like down the hallway, because that's how you end up with the slab of metal just blocking everyone else in.
Yeah.
This is true. Okay.
And
So-
before he does, he'll say the zombies to go with you and stuff like that. So he poofs out. Poof.
Wonderful. Well, you have all made yourselves free of the Hall of Lament and have killed
Oh,
the prisoner within. Unfortunately, the tales of treasures and such were never true. The only thing
That's
that
a
you
lie.
managed to
It's those
do,
giant blocks of silver.
well, it's not technically a treasure, but what you find, of course, is a prison for the demon, which you have released, but thankfully you've put it down for good. Something that these wizards in the past were unable to do. And you have freed this town from any sort of future hauntings of a released demon, which probably would have raised some havoc. Um, but congratulations. Well done. You all survived. Arlie was close.
nobody died.
I almost got him one more time, but I didn't get him tonight, so maybe next time.
You technically got me in 10 candles,
Hmm.
albeit on my own terms.
Yeah.
That was stressful.
So, thanks, you guys, for showing up and playing.
Thanks, Josh.
No
You
worries.
guys just circumvented so much stuff with your good rolls, so
Mhm.
there's a lot more stuff to damage you, but you managed to get past it.
Mhm.
Oh, yeah.
So I know it's getting late, so we'll let some of these we'll try to get out here as quick as we can. But I'd like to have you all plug anything you got going on, or at least let people know where they can find you at and talk to you, and where they can follow you at, because they're going to follow you after this. So. Well, I can't promise that. They don't follow me either. But we'll try our damnedest to let them do that. So, Mary, just to start, let us know where they can find you at and what you got going on.
All right. I play with Spicy Dragon Roll typically every Friday. We have been on a break the past couple of weeks. We are starting up with a special Halloween episode on Sunday, and then going back to our regular schedule probably next Friday. We play at 8:30 Eastern over on the Spicy Dragon Roll channel. You can follow me on Twitter. My username is listed on the screen, and I post a lot about cats and D&D, so that's kind of what I do.
Amazing. Arlie.
Hi, I'm Arlie. You can find me at twitch.tv/Arlian or at IndieArlian on Twitch. I don't actually play that much tabletop. I love it. I just don't have the groups. So most of my content is actually revolving around indie gaming and indie game reviews. I think that sums it up pretty nicely.
Wonderful. Kayla.
Hey guys, I am Kaleidoscopes on Twitter. And I'm a TRPG designer. Currently, I am working on a project for a new TRPG. I can't say much more because unfortunately I am under NDA, but expect to see that in the coming months. And you can find me when I talk about games and TRPGs and meme a bunch. So come and check it out.
Awesome.
You guys later.
And thanks so much for coming on tonight. I really appreciate it.
It was fun.
Matthew. What's up?
Hey, not much. I mean, my day job keeps me pretty busy, but you can find me at Proud Nerdery on Twitter. I'm always up for playing on some other one-shots anytime. So anybody else want to invite me on, I'd be happy to do it. But
Awesome.
that's about it for me.
Well, I guess that leaves me. Wow, it's just so weird to actually be running a game again of D&D. So tonight I've been Saevrick. I've been your dungeon master and your best friend. You can catch me here every Wednesday for Blades in the Dark at 9 p.m. Eastern Time, which is a fucking hilariously fun game. And also Saturdays, usually not this Saturday because we're going to take it off for Halloween, but run a D20 Star Wars campaign called Exile on my channel here, and that is also at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Other than that, I got nothing else going on. I just want to say one more time, thank you all for coming on for such short notice. I know that I just had to throw this all together as quick as I could. So I really appreciate it for coming prepared. It was awesome. If you'd like to see this game for yourself, it's on the DM's Guild, Breaker of Chains by Chris Bassett. So if you'd like to take a look at it yourself, I'm sure he would appreciate the extra buy. Otherwise, I've got nothing else to say, nothing else going on. Anything you all like to say before we head out for this evening?
Maybe you'll murder me next time.
I will definitely fucking try.
Stay safe and vote.
That's a good point there.
Yeah.
Love you too, Maddie.
Mostly
Thanks for
season.
coming by.
This was fun though.
I'm glad y'all had fun, and we'll do this again sometime. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Maybe not a death murder dungeon, but something at least. Something different. You know, a little bit of role playing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we all could.
I'm done playing Aaron again. He was fun.
Awesome, man. Well,
Court's always fun to play.
I guess with that, we will catch you next time out there in the Twitterverse or the Twitchverse or whatever the hell we're end up doing. So go check these folks out, give them a follow, let them know that you're thinking about them, and we will catch you all in the next game. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.